Virtually every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden symbols and messages.
Special request. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it
ganja. Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I am your host, Adam Dunn. And I just took a massive dab there.
Oh, yeah.
It's because I'm sitting next to the massive dab man himself, Squatch. Could not come in with a small dab, or he would be very disappointed.
Nice.
I would have a huge disappointment on his face. Big show today. Lots of people coming through, so it's going to be like rolling guests. I have the man from the island himself, the floating head. He has no body. I hope his weed has more body than his body does. Because, I hope so.
Solid. Dennis.
Aaron, what are you going by? What's your Mr. P or something
Professor
like that?
Professor.
Yeah, Professor P. Or
Professor P.
What?
The ZEEMAN.
The ZEEMAN, exactly. Big Island. The Big Island representing here.
Yeah. Puna.
Puna Man, yes.
Puna Man.
Which, I mean, to be quite honest, I still get the most requests for that strain that when back in the day when my friend went there and brought it back to Amsterdam, and I put out Puna Butter, and it was like... It took a lot. I always tell people, like, it was the hardest plant for me to figure out. Like, it took me forever to like, I had a whole bunch of seeds. I was going through them. I kept finding like duds and weirdness and mutations and just fucking weird throwbacks. And I got this like lettuce looking plant.
I've had that one.
It's just like barf, just all leafy.
I'm looking for that now.
And then I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. And then I found the one, and that was a male too. It was one of those things I just couldn't. All the females were just weird. Like I had a hard time finding what I wanted in them.
Right.
But I found a really good male, and then I started working with that, and then that actually seemed to be like more on point for what I was trying.
That's
to do.
the stuff that I had wrote you the email about years ago, because I saw you were selling the Puna Butter.
Yep.
And I wrote you an email. I was like, hey man. I didn't know who you were, but I wrote THC seeds, and you wrote back.
THC seeds are out of Canada.
Man,
and those guys probably got like they probably made more money off of me than anybody in the world, just because they're like, yeah, people just keep coming at us. THC seeds.
No, I love your seeds, duh.
I know.
And anyway, so
I'm trying to be clever. That's the problem. When you're too clever it took 20 years for people to figure it out. They're like, oh, THC.
It's so simple, right?
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So I knew when I wrote that thing that. I was like, I don't know who was right back. I was like, well, if this is the real Puna Butter that I smoked before that I couldn't find anymore in Hawaii, if they don't mention the word Kalapana in the first sentence, they're full of crap, right? And in the first sentence, you said, yeah, my buddy went down there to Kalapana, and I ordered those seeds from you, man. And we grew them out, and it was the real deal, man. I'm sorry we ever lost those clones.
I know, and it's one of those, like, the reason I got it, because the guy who's also named JJ, and he's not the JJ that will be on the show later, with Exotic Genetics, Mike and JJ coming in through. I didn't even tell everybody who's coming in. Well, whatever, doesn't matter. We're here.
They're coming.
When are you hitting that at?
Is that ready?
Oh, yeah, about 55 or so. Yeah. 50 now that I started a little late. How's that? Just to keep it perfect.
Down about 45.
But yeah, it was like he went there. It's this guy JJ who had it's funny. His name's JJ. His company's called Advanced Hydroponics, not Advanced Nutrients. So very confusing.
Very confusing.
You're like,
kinda
oh, JJ from
Sour Diesel, like
it's the same. Yeah, the confusion is there. But anyway, so JJ went there. He's not a really heavy smoker though, by any means. He's kind of a lightweight, but. He came back and was just like, he had to go hide in the closet when he smoked it. Like he literally like went back to the hotel, hid in the closet for like 2 hours until he could like get himself straight to come back out to his wife. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm telling you. They told me it was strong. I didn't believe him. And he was sitting in between two people. And it was just like, he thought he was being clever because every time they passed the joint, he'd take a hit. He'd be like, I get it. I'm doubling down. And then all of a sudden he was like, meh, like paralytic. And he just went and, like I said, hid in the closet until he could, get himself straight. Right. So anyway, that was my reference.
That's
I was like,
there.
Hid in the closet? Perfect.
That's what you want.
That's the kind of product that I need right there. So, it was, that was like 94 or 5 it had to be because I was still in CIA at the time.
That was fresh.
And that was, again, that was the part of that entire trip that like it's all he cared about was bringing those seeds back. And that's,
Man, you know, those strains back in the day, all the Hawaiian strains are like they're almost impossible to find nowadays. You know?
and I mean, I guess does Hawaii just like Hawaiify everything?
It really does, yeah,
You know.
because they talk about Hawaiian land races, but there are no land races.
Oh,
really.
Mr. Dew, the Kev with the
Until-
dew in the house.
Yes, sir.
You know you can't see this anymore, right? Can you see
Is it
this?
disappear?
Is this
Is it
gone?
floating around like in space?
Is
It's
it gone? Is it
yeah.
really gone?
It's really gone.
Is it gone? Is it just
Except for the bottom, like
disappeared?
yeah, the liquid. Like it's
Wow.
weird.
You know it's bad. You know it's bad if it's.
Oh no, it's all done. Yeah, it's all
It's
gone.
gone. Yeah, you know this shit's
You can
bad.
just
if
see
you
the
can't
glare.
Even, ugh. Okay. Anyway,
Anyway,
Kev's got some. They're in the truck still. I didn't even bring them inside.
What?
Well, you know.
Come on.
Say I'm gonna do lay them all out.
Yeah. I trust you. You're the man.
Excuse me.
We'll get them. We'll get them.
We will.
Yeah, if you need me to grab some.
Yeah, you might have to go to the truck and grab a couple. It's a couple boxes in the back with some fresh CBD products.
Okay.
Whenever
right.
you feel. Yeah.
Gummies.
Okay.
gummies.
We've got gummies.
We just got our first dispensary open up in on the Big Island last week, I think.
First one.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what's so freaking hilarious? It was the license was somebody else, but all of a sudden, right before the thing was supposed to finally happen, they changed to who had the license for some reason, which is really weird. Now it's called Big Island Growers, BIG.
Original.
Yeah, real original. Thanks a lot, guys. So now everybody's going online to try to find the dispensary, and they're finding Big Island Genetics,
Right.
and they're calling me. And I'm like, oh man, you know.
Well, it's kind of like gonna be. Shouldn't there be a shitload of big everythings there now? Just because.
No,
Wouldn't that be the
You would
most
think,
common
right?
thing you'd think? Like,
I
oh,
know, right? You would,
Big Island, big everything, right?
right? No, not
No.
really. No,
No.
it's weird.
They haven't clued in yet.
No,
Damn.
we're like 10 years behind, man.
10 years behind in the pun world.
everything,
You guys are not up on. He's already got. Oh no! In my jacket, in my hoodie.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's the first, or are you sure it's the first licensed dispensary?
It's the first.
I mean, I don't know. I've visited a couple of times.
That's a
and
good
so-
point because my buddy Mike Ruggles, and they had the alternative pain management Pua Honua, that it was a collective, right? And then,
Right, yep.
Right, and then he ended up getting busted, and he's still fighting that
Mike.
case right now. Big Mike, that's my
Yeah.
bro. Yeah.
No what?
No,
No
way.
way.
No
No.
way. Really?
Yeah, I've been out there.
Wait a minute. Big,
Oh no
Oh,
way.
it just got crazy.
That's my boy.
Really? Yeah.
No
Big Mike?
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on, dude. Wow. Small world, Big Island, right?
It is. Well, you
that
know.
kind of Big Island, small world. I
Big
guess.
Island,
Well,
small
anyway, he's still
world,
fighting that
small
case,
industry.
man. He's ready to kick the crap out of them. As
Yeah.
a matter of fact, yeah.
I think he should be all right.
No, he is, man, because it's medical. No, man, we got this. No, we got the
It's all going
lawsuit.
back
The
to that,
lawsuit's
like-
just waiting. The lawsuit's waiting. As soon as we find him not guilty, he's been made offers already.
Oh,
we're going to trial.
He does.
That's fact.
Big Mike does big stuff.
No, do you know that he's won a case in the Nevada Supreme Court? His name is the
I know
Ruggles
nothing.
versus
How
Nevada.
there's so many big mics in the industry too?
I know. What's the
I know
deal?
so
nothing.
confusing.
I know. I know how many mics I know. It's ridiculous. There's one over there. I got like 7 mics.
But he's not big, so that's good.
No, he's a Colorado mic.
Yeah. But Big
Peeps,
Mike
these
is
peeps.
rare. There's only one Big Mike on the Big Island.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's my boy.
It's a big
So
rep. That's a
I'm
huge
from
rep
Vegas,
to have.
man.
on
Me and him
there.
were from
It's like
Vegas.
now
That's
you
why I
find a
came
whole
out
bunch
here.
of
It's a long
Sasquatches
story.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I know I did. Cool, man. That's so cool.
Small
Hey,
world.
my package came on. Oh,
Yeah, we got packages.
There you go. There's your packs.
That's the way.
So we were talking about Puna Butter earlier.
Yeah, we were.
And then I talked to a guy recently. I'm just trying to think who I was with the Kauai Electric also.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
Well, here, man, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. It's funny. I just said this to Mike, and I go, "Hey, Mike, what? I heard this thing," and he goes, "Oh yeah, I've known that for years." I'm like, "What? Years?" Kauai Electric on the Big Island apparently got rebranded
No way.
as a cutting. Must be 20 years ago now, and they called it Death. Everybody knows on the Big Island about a strain called Death.
Oh, that's great.
I didn't really like to grow it just because the name.
Lovely name.
Yeah, it was a crappy name. It was
Give me a
weird.
bag of death.
It was like,
I'll take
two. It was like, oh, it's really killer. It's death.
Death and meth.
So anyway,
you sing
yeah,
meth too. You're like,
right,
Say
so-
meth? No, I said death.
Death, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I
now
got
that we
meth.
found
I don't
that-
have death. That's meth.
I got
Which
a
is
buddy-
death, basically. So
Yeah.
it's all relevant.
It's killer weed. It'll put you down. Anyway,
Yeah, I
I
bet.
got a friend. He's got the cutting. It's
6
all
feet
around, so
under,
we can
right?
get it. We can find that.
It kind of sucks if it's called Death, though.
No, it's not called Death. It's Kauai Electric.
Oh, I know it's Kauai.
Because in Puna, we were like...
you couldn't call it that.
We're Puna-centric, right? Puna Butter. So,
of course.
Kauai weed? Like, Kauai Electric? Yeah. Well, nobody's going to buy that crap, dude. Oh, it's called Death. Oh, we'll buy Death.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
That's your new stuff. Yeah.
Got new stuff.
Yeah, a lot of pipettes, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's so that everybody doesn't have to share their herpetogonosyphilate.
Herpetogonosyphilates. Oh, there you go. Well, I thought sharing was caring.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, come on, bro. Don't you know the rules?
Don't be greedy.
It's a trade show. You gotta get the herps at the show, bro.
Adam's gonna give you.
I wanted to do a terps not herps
all right.
T-shirt. That was one of my ideas.
Natural hemp massage oil. Adam's
Thanks,
in.
Adam.
I could bag it out before tomorrow.
You guys are killing me.
So, as far as Hawaii strains that are still around, besides the Death, which I mean, now I know.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Now
Big
you know.
Island, ask for the Death. What's the most like ancient strain still like that you feel has actually been there long enough that because there's nothing from Hawaii originally. We know that.
But you know, I just found out.
Had to be brought there.
Even at the University of Hawaii Hilo Tropical Agriculture Program, they teach you that it's really strange that once you have a plant that's gone through about 6 full generations, not just cannabis, in Hawaii, that the slight subtle mutations that occur actually make it its own land race in Hawaii. It's a strange thing. They teach that in agriculture classes, not about cannabis. I don't know. But as far as what you're talking about...
It's exactly what I was saying in the beginning of the show, which is, does it Hawaiify? Because
it does.
Anywhere
it really
seems
does.
like that's really got an extreme, like, steady climate.
Right.
Things just
change.
have to adapt to that because if they don't, what the fuck are we gonna do? It doesn't.
Exactly.
It's not
Even
really,
cuttings.
It's not falling in or out of that range.
Over
very
like years,
much.
you know, your cuttings they'll actually mutate or at least change. At least I think what is the environment lets those genes express that normally wouldn't express.
Yeah.
Right. And so I would go with the Puna Butter, only because I got my hands on some of them seeds. You know, and I also got some Molokai Snow.
Tell me about that.
The Molokai Snow is amazing stuff. It's more of an indica. It's pretty much an indica, and it's super frosty as you would think. And what I really like about it is what it smells like Puna butter, but more just.
Are you saying puta?
Puna.
Puna.
Puna
Oh,
butter.
punani.
Puna butter. Puna butter.
Puna.
Puna butter. Yeah. Punani.
Punani.
Yeah. Nani.
Okay.
Anyway.
It's ready.
What are you doing from Red? Tommy?
Huh?
Like a minute. Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about the Kona Gold? You want to talk about the Kona
Let's
Gold?
talk about the Kona Gold.
Let's talk about the Kona Gold. The Kona Gold, well, there's a lot more in the story of the Kona Gold because the Kona Gold that most people are aware of, they've heard about from the 70s, I believe, maybe the early 80s. And it was a gold color, sativa plant, right? But in the mid 80s and early 90s, a lot of the Kona Gold stories you'll hear about this killer weed, well, it's a different weed. It's another weed that got rebranded. No shit. And it was coming straight out of Puna. And growing in one particular place, and I found out the story. And
So you're saying Kona is Puna?
no, Kona is the other side of the Big Island.
No, I know I'm saying, but the same what is now being called Kona Gold.
No, what was being called Kona Gold? Because today, if you want to get Kona Gold, where are you going to get that at?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I thought you were talking about right now.
Like right now.
No.
This instant.
Yeah, the seeds exist.
Okay.
The seeds exist, and that's what Big Island Genetics wants to do. We want to bring back the Puna Butter, the Kona Gold, the Kauai Electric, the Molokai Snow, the Maui Wowie.
Old school.
The old school, and stabilize them to find something decent people like that they can actually grow, not in Hawaii, right? Because you're not going to get the same results, right?
Right.
Anywhere indoors as you can in Hawaii, and then mix them up, with the other the new strains. All what they do,
Well,
right?
I always think so. My take on the success of Hawaii is obviously there's extreme differences within temperature-wise. It's not so much the air temperature; it's the root temperature. I think is what the key because
Really?
how do you? Well, it tends to stay like warmer at night on the ground compared to other places, just because of the
This is
porousness, the porousness of the of the rock there.
the ocean being around the island does allow for large fluctuations in temperature in general. So
Yeah, and you get like kind of like a warmer nighttime temperature than daytime temperature. Like, well, everything sort of revolves differently. Where here it's kind of colder and.
You mean like Colorado?
Just in general, in northern hemisphere.
In general, that's true.
Compared to, I mean, Hawaii's very extreme, and very microclimatey too, though.
It is. But we have like 19 of like the 23 climates that there are on the planet on the Big Island. So what we're saying really depends on where you're at. You can grow. There's a climate just like Colorado. There's a climate just like California. Depends where you. I grow in Puna.
Where's the snow in Hawaii? There's like one.
It's on the top. It's up there right now. It's Mauna Kea, where the big giant telescopes are.
Is that on the Big Island?
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, so
we got the big mountains, the big telescopes. We got the lava.
So you guys got it all.
We got the volcano, which finally stopped flowing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's what we got. Some nice beaches. We got the sport fishing over in Kona too, right? And the Iron Man.
Oh yeah, of course. You guys can. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's one of the things.
You gotta come out, man.
I know, and I haven't done Big Island, which is perfect. So
I know we're ready, man. We're totally ready. We'll go do it from Mike's house.
Hey, Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Shout out.
All right, so just tell us about your can. Let's try. We're gonna mix it all up.
Mix it up. What you got there?
Well, we've got
the second round.
20 milligram gummies. This is from us over at Zenzico. We do gummies. We do a lot of edibles. ZENEXEL.
Oh yeah, that's totally normal.
Yeah. Or you can also go. The easier route is neuroendoceuticals or natural hemp extracts. It'll all lead you to the same website. What we have today is some 20 milligram, 100% vegan, 0 THC gummies.
So you had me. I was allowed. Oh. No, at vegan I was allowed to eat them because gummies I can never eat. I'm usually just like gummies, forget about it.
Right. Which is why we've done that with the gummies because a lot of people are vegan or whatever, and so we're working on 5 different lines of edibles and stuff like that. But the gummies is what I really wanted to bring out for the expo and for people to try. I've got oils here as well. We can take some beakers, try some oils. We've got a mild, medium, and then high grade dosage.
Well, anyway, as far as this product here, pull them out. Give them.
You talking about the gummy?
Yeah, you gotta keep the gummies.
Holy Christ!
Holy schnolis!
These are real gummies.
These
by the way.
Look, I can eat these.
I'm a gummy aficionado. Okay.
Perfect.
Just want you to know that. Okay.
Perfect.
We had a discussion earlier today with my stoner buddies about gummies, right?
Yeah.
World's greatest gummies.
Stoner buddies.
Now these are CBD gummies.
Okay, man. I can only like half of one and wait like 20 minutes.
Well, no, you're just that's I think at the industry and a lot of people, as far as knowledge, they think that you're going to get this high from the THC side, but it just really calms you, gives you just a really nice, smooth feeling. Man,
that was tasty.
Oh, good. Yeah,
for real.
Yeah.
No, I got nerve
Lots
damage, right? And so the
research
CBD,
and
it helps,
development.
man.
Yeah, that's what.
I'm helping you now.
There we go.
Thumbs up.
Tastes good.
Oh, yep.
For real. I don't know what flavor you call that. That's excellent. Citrus?
What do you call it?
Citrusy. I've got one more. You guys interested?
Man, that's good.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
Pass it on there. I've got plenty.
Yeah.
It's MTI.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
MTI will have another one. Anyway, so what are these called? You had a name on it, dude. What was the name? You had some.
Who's got the bag?
What's it say on the back of that MTI?
What?
On the bag.
Dude, your shirt is so freaking dope.
So
on the
dude,
back. On the back.
Dude, that is like the most dopest shirt, dude.
Name?
Dude, you don't
flavor?
even know. Dude,
That's forever.
I don't think it says on this one. This is
Yeah, it
citrusy.
doesn't.
I do shirts, man.
I don't see a flavor
That's my
yet.
favorite band, my favorite
This is
album.
our citrus flavor. One of the cool
I saw
things
that.
I
I
think
was like,
It's a figure it out flavor, bro.
Yeah, it says it has orange
It's a
and
guess.
tapioca
So hot, dude.
syrup.
it's so
There you go.
discreet unless you really look
I
at
thought it was Led Zeppelin, and I thought it was the album, dude. And I was like,
should be like a
Take you a
citrusy
second
mix.
look.
favorite
you're
album
like- you're like,
ever.
What are you guys talking
Yeah.
about?
That's
Dude, what are you even fucking talking about?
Yeah. And the thing about these, I think that we set ourselves
man.
from the market
Led
is we do the QR code.
Med Zeppelin. Med Zeppelin.
You get a lot of products where they're like, oh, this is CBD, and then you go and try the CBD product and you come up hot on a piss test because it's got THC. So all of our products got a QR code. Take your phone, boom, shows you the COA, tells you everything that's in it, so that you're getting a legitimate product on the market.
Right on.
So that you don't have to worry about anything,
So it has
tests or anything.
0.0% THC, is what you're saying.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
So you're working with super clean product, which is good. I mean, that's
Super clean.
because that is crazy. Because now you see it everywhere. You do see it at every single truck stop. So you can just imagine.
Oh yeah, right.
That all those guys are just at every fucking CBD, blah blah. But they're, you know, just by being around the product so much. Want me to hold it, or you got it? You know, by being around the product so much with people, that you just know it's in there, dude. You guys are getting fucked because they're definitely getting a small. Even if it's only 0.3%, if they do that a few 4 times
for a test,
they're gonna fucking run hot. Yeah, for sure.
And that's the problem with the industry. You know, there's a lot of people that get in that aren't knowledgeable, haven't been on the weed side, and then progressed in the hemp side, or just come in really seeing what they don't see. They see monetary. They don't see the benefits of lupus, cancer, diabetes, seizures.
Right.
I was just talking to a guy.
Are you talking about what this shit does to you right now?
Yeah.
See, everything you're saying is from the dew, bro.
I stay super healthy, but I drink Mountain Dew.
Oh, that's
healthy.
That's like cigarette smoker guy telling you that he's fucking.
Use
he's
that
so
as
healthy
a
because he goes to the
carb cap.
gym every
Ready to
day,
go?
But he's a cigarette in his mouth. Oh.
Right. Well, on this thing, I'll just tell you guys that gummy that you just tasted, we actually just brought off the assembly line yesterday. I overnight shipped it. That's the first batch that has come to market for people to actually taste and sample. We've done about 4 years of research and development to get to where we feel we've got a really high-end product. We don't want to just be your normal edible on the market. We want to have a taste and a flavor that you enjoy, but also have that high potency content.
Carb cap.
Yes.
Teamwork makes the dream work around here.
Oh, that was good.
It's hard when you don't have a body, dude. If you don't have a body and you're trying to smoke a ball, I don't know how you even do it. How do you do it, bro?
Wow.
How do you do it without a body? I don't even understand.
Welcome to the moon.
Where did it go, man?
Do not understand.
What
is
does
it
it
KTI
mean?
in the building? Is this KTI?
He gave me the thing.
Do I see KTI?
He gave me
Sneaking
this
up
holy
right-
crap, and I was like, what?
Nobody even knew.
Yeah, we're still doing
Welcome to your new home, guy.
Did I do it right, man?
KTI's first time at the new studio.
Yeah.
How's that look?
Yeah, you did all right, bro.
So, all right. Well, those are available only to us personally because it's the first batch. But when's it going to be available?
They're available for order right now.
Okay.
Yep,
Cool.
they're up on the website. You can get gummies. We're coming out with 4 different edibles. You know, we've got the tinctures and other stuff on the site as well.
Nice.
Appreciate Adam letting us get on here and let you guys try them.
Did I hit it?
Exactly.
I feel like you ate a whole bag yesterday.
Should be.
I ate
not?
one. I did eat one bag, but it wasn't between a bunch of us. So yeah.
Might be. Grab a different one.
I only had one. Uh-oh. Looks like James is on his way. I don't know.
I think I'm starting to catch a bus.
He wants me to call people now.
Well,
So you're fresh off yesterday. You came in yesterday, right?
Dude, yeah, man, I flew forever, man. I didn't sleep on the flight.
It's funny because I talked to him the other day, and I was just, were you not planning on being here, or you just kind of?
Man, it was up in the air, dude. Yeah,
Wasn't
I
sure.
wanted to be here. I wanted to be here for the Indo Expo.
Okay.
And they only had like one booth left. And I was
wow.
trying to find out if I can make it and if I can get the deal together. And I
Oh, that's funny because I
So
kind
did you
of
get
was
it?
under the assumption that you didn't even really you were just like, yeah, I'm coming, and I was like, all right, whatever.
well,
And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm here. And I'm like, what? Didn't we just like? So you must have flew right when I fell asleep.
probably. And I showed up when you woke up.
Pretty
Probably.
much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
How long
that
was
was
the flight
good.
for?
I don't know.
something new.
It was 6.
Are you allowed to show it, or is it just
9 hours. It was about 9 hours total.
Secret shit. Sorry.
9 hours total. Stuck in the middle. Got the last seat on the plane, right in the middle. Got
Oh,
the
of
last
course.
booth at the Indo Expo, right on the end, like where there's nobody else, like the storage unit or something like that. But I'm glad to be here, man. You know, really. I'm glad to bring some gear, you know, from the Big Island, so you guys can grow some of what we got going on over there. Something different.
Is that your distillate right there?
No, this is Homeboys right here.
That's
That's just straight,
Terps.
yeah, straight sauce.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good flavor.
Well, it better be.
Smooth.
Yeah, that Vulcan
It better be.
Vulcan death grip.
Pure Vulcan Death Grip Terps.
What do you mean straight
sauce.
terps? What do you mean?
Pretty
It's
much.
pretty much live resin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love. Okay, it's nice.
No
Just a
NCT,
live
no
resin.
additives, just
Nope.
straight turps.
I love
yeah.
that live.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
It's a
That's
sativa
super
for
clean.
sure, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's Space Queen by Skunk One.
The same.
One of Duke Diamond's creations.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll just leave it shut.
I missed the introduction of her. You are?
Sasquatch.
Sorry to get a good grip there. I almost gave you one of those little foo-foo grips. Yeah. But Adam, what kind of guests you got on here?
Sasquatch. Sorry for your hand. But yeah, it was
Natural hemp extract.
It was also you were also traveled to ADSI. I think you were the last guy at ADSI too.
Oh man, that was so
right.
Awesome.
He was the last guy, right? KTI for sure. Like he was already late by half.
Oh yeah, man. I came in.
Half a day late. Half a day late.
I came in. Yep. I was running behind. Yep.
So it's totally obviously everyone else's fault. This is obviously
It's on Hawaiian time, man.
Has nothing to do with your bad planning and one day off. That one day off thing must fuck you up so much where you're just like, oh, you meant today. Dude, I thought you meant like tomorrow today.
That happens all the time.
So he just got off from the Big Island, huh?
Yeah, man.
Literally.
Oh,
Literally.
man.
Yeah.
That's
And
why I
you
didn't
beat
bring.
me here?
Yeah, man.
They didn't give him half of his body when he arrived.
Yeah.
It got lost in luggage.
They're like, we don't have your torso, sir.
Does he have a floating head?
Government shutdown.
Yeah, government shut down. They're like, I don't know, bro. TSA's not sure where your rest of your body's gone to, bro.
This is the good.
Luckily, you got the parts that work that mostly, but
my mouth. That's all I do. Pretty much.
it's gotten you this far.
Should we do shouts?
Shout out.
Let's do shout outs right now while we're just sort of in a lull. We have nothing to say.
I got something to say. Shout out to Roger Christie, man. I told him I'd give him a shout out. Shout out to Roger Christie.
Oh, okay. That's not the kind of shout outs we're talking about, but
Well,
that's
I mean,
cool. You can do it. You can do that one too.
This isn't the Family Feud or like Price is Right, where it's like, hey, Mom. Hi, Dad. I love you.
You can do that as all you want.
We'll start off with a new
Want to say
millennium.
hi to my dogs back home?
All right, calm down, everybody. We're turning the mics down anyway because we gotta pay the bills here, bro. The bills.
Got you.
You're cut off anyway. Don't even talk. We're not hearing you.
We're doing ads real quick.
Yeah, because ads pay the bills. So here on the Adam Dunn Show, we want to start out with new millennium.
You're funny as fuck, dude.
They can still see you though. They can still see you, and they know exactly what you're doing. So don't even.
Yep, everyone's still on the screen.
Everyone's still on the screen.
Still floating around, yeah.
Perfect.
In the web browser.
NewMillenniumNutrients.com. You can go to those guys, check out their store finder, check out their calculator. They got the best product if you want to grow on large scale. If you want to grow small, you can also use the product too. It's for all sizes. But in general, if you really are pushing on a larger system and you want to have a very good, solid base product that works awesome, and it's like, I say base in the sense that it's like it's not all froofy and bullshit. It gives you the products you need when you need them. Everything's based on the seasons, which helps kind of like keep everybody in check because they know exactly what the fucking seasons are. Whereas if you have it all as like, veg and flower, it's like, well, there is kind of in-between zones, because everyone understands what spring is, but for some reason they always think grow and flower are just it, and there's no in-between. So products there, they have like decision, which kind of sets your plants up and gets them ready for flower, which is like most products just kind of give you that, flush it one time and then whack it with the next thing. They're kind of easing in, easing out, using the best ingredients. Their fulvic has got 9 sources of fulvic acid, which is like actually the most almost all of it in the world. There's not many there's very few sources of fulvic acid to begin with, and then to find 9 good sources of it, you cover every fucking base possible at that end of the scale, which is the one that is the magic zone anyway. You know what I mean? So if you really want to build your rhizosphere and kind of in a commercial sense, that's the product for you right there. Anyway, NewMillenniumNutrients.com. Check them out. They're going to be on the show soon anyway. We'll get Neil, who's the guy who is the man behind it all. Neil is the guy who built a lot of other people's whole systems for them, and now he decided to do his own thing. So, like I said, we'll get him on the show one day. It's been like 2 years. We're like, come on, dude. Come on the show. So, come on the fucking show. Now we're professional. Now we can do whatever. Now we can have anybody on the show. Before it was like, come on the show in my truck outside the place because the smoke alarms are going off. And, there was like a million reasons.
Oh, man. That was fun.
Yeah, that was me and Kyle.
That was great. I remember
Right?
that.
KTI, that was fun.
That was a great show.
That was a great show. I'd never
Man.
watched that show. No, I don't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even bear to watch it if I had to. I'm sure it's hilarious.
On to Incredibles edibles.
Incredibles edibles. Also, number one company here in Colorado, going nationwide, and I think they're even in Puerto Rico. So I'm going to keep double check on that before I head back. But they are the most stable, sort of consistent strain. Consistent because they use their own in-house material. They grow it, process it, all with their own equipment, their own. Everything is built by them. So in a sense, it's like you know your product pretty well when you have grown it, processed it, turned it into oil, turn that oil into your edible, which you've been doing now for probably about 7 years or so. So it's like you got that shit dialed in. Plus, they got a bunch of new flavors, a bunch of new products. Check out their they have their bomb baths that actually THC bomb baths that work because the guy who makes them, he don't make nothing that don't work. You know what I mean? So you get one of those, you're like, holy shit. Now I'm fucking.
I tried one once and almost died. I thought I almost went to sleep.
I almost
What's
died.
a THC bomb?
It's like a bath bomb.
Like a bath bomb.
Oh, a bomb. Really?
bomb.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
Be careful
Put you
though,
to sleep
to
in
keep
the
the water
tub.
at a certain
Oh,
level.
yeah.
Don't use in the jacuzzi.
Whoever thought of that is cool? Yeah, he is cool. So anyway, like I said, and he's a guy who needs that kind of stuff because whenever I traveled with him, he'd always find a bath just to fucking be able to soak at the end of the night because he needed to because his whole fucking shattered his knees and all that good stuff.
It just soaks in. Yeah.
And that he's like, booyah.
Bath water only so high though.
Oh, don't even worry. You can drown. You can drown in an inch. You can drown in an inch. Less is more because if you really bang your head, you're fucking laying in that little tiny little. Everyone thinks you're fine, and then all of a sudden, what happened? Yeah, that's see. Whereas if you're in a
think about it.
what the fuck, you're sitting in a little tiny bit of water. What are you doing? It's like, come on, don't. That's a terrible image right there.
Yeah.
Half covered in water, like now, come on, just do a soak.
It's taking a dark
That
turn.
sounds good.
Put a snorkel on if you're freaking scared. Anyway,
I know
Incredibles,
scale. Yeah.
edibles.
Get a ball- get a bath
It's
ball.
iloveincredibles.com if you want to go online. Check out their store finder. And if you live in Colorado, it's pretty hard to find a spot that doesn't have it. So, and again, most consistent. That's what I love about those guys. And check them out. Also, who's really fucking making people's lives change is the guy who owns Build a Soil, and that's our next sponsor. And those guys, they put together soil preparations, custom blend if you want it. They've got every impossible to find amendment available there. They got people who know what the fuck they're doing. You can give them a call, 855-877-SOIL. Say, hey, what's up? I don't know how to use the fucking internet. They'll actually help you out instead of being like, sorry, sir, everything is by internet. We don't know anything what you're talking about. They know about everything, every single product, and how it's used. So give them a shout and go to buildasoil.com, obviously, if you want to just do that route, which is fine. But if you actually want to talk to somebody, 855-877-SOIL. Give them a call. It's the only number I remember besides my own and my wife's and maybe like my mom.
877-SOIL.
Got that in my head forever.
There you go.
It's good
And I hadn't said it for a long time, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh yeah, it's back." It took me a second. There was like one moment where I hadn't said it for a few, and I was like, "Whoa!" I think MTI. I remember was there. He was no, you didn't see me sweat. There was like one moment where I
you're
couldn't
smooth, man. You got it.
Couldn't remember it for like that 1 millisecond at one point. I was
Oh,
like,
that's
I
right.
think I forgot.
Yeah.
and I was like, "Whoa!" Oh. And then you were like, "You did it!" I was like, "Yes." It's amazing. Those are the little things in life, that amaze you.
On the WallaceWow.com.
But what amazes you is WallaceWow.com. Go to this guy's website and check out the fucking pumpkins this guy grows. That's like bang. 2,000-pound pumpkins, 2,000-pound squash. Fucking, he hasn't really updated his site. He's about as bad as me. Same photos forever, but you can just look him up anywhere else besides this website. You'll see some super new photos. But the guy is a machine as far as putting together mycorrhizae products. He's on the back of all those all those extreme gardening fucking packs. When you look on the back and you see a guy with a big giant pumpkin on the back of those things, that's that guy.
Yeah, I heard about that guy.
I heard about that guy.
No, yeah.
You're not allowed to talk. So you can't even. I don't even see you right now, bro. I really don't see you at all. Anyway, I really don't actually. So I only see a head, which I'm not talking to right now. Talk with your hands. There you go. But no, wildwestwild.com. If you want to check out their products, I think with him and with the Build of Soils, just throw the Dunn deal at them no matter what. Jeremy, I have to talk to anyway. We have some we have some talking to do. So I'm gonna get him on the show real soon and make sure he knows what the Dunn deal is. So if people just start inundating him now, he'll be well reminded. And everyone knows Dunn deal is just what the fuck ever you get it. It's a deal. It'll be a deal. I guarantee you. Something off. Sometimes it's 50%.
Are we spelling Dunn right? D-O-N-E?
No, hell no, we're not spelling it right. Are you fucking kidding me? Not on this show.
That's funny.
Dunn has never been spelled right on this show. I don't think. What the hell's that big noise right there? Is that just something?
Yeah.
Huh?
Vac sealer.
It's not a vac sealer.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't know.
It does sound a little bit like a vac sealer, but
There, it's gone now. I'll investigate how to turn it off.
I heard it last time, I think, too.
Yeah, I think so too.
But it was no vac sealer. It's a ghost of a vac sealer, though. It's
I thought
like,
maybe you had your phone going off or something.
On to Green Farms?
yes, sir, Green Farm. Oh, man, you see their booth down at the spot. They're going to fucking blow it out. I was like, damn. Green Farms is based here in Colorado, and they have a shop down in Colorado Springs where you can actually, if you have a medical card, that is, which is rare these days. There's not many people left. It's like you have to fight over those customers, I would think. But until the Springs fucking gets their shit together, which is crazy. Like, it's one of those cities that's just like, hello.
What's even going on there?
What are you thinking right now? They only have medical, so it's weird.
Right.
But they're one of the few shops down there, or the only shop down there, I'm 100% sure, that does no-till, does it right, took the hard road, grown proper, and obviously the product's the cleanest product you're going to get. Grown with love, good products, good product line. They also have Buffalo, which has been on our show a bunch of times, which is an awesome base product. They own Rasta Worms, which is a good worm product here, which is always a winner. You can't go wrong. And they also have Rasta Rooster, and they have a few other product lines that are all organic based. You can check them out at greenfarms.co. Mm-hmm. And they are also at the show, so maybe at the show we'll kind of round everybody up and try to get everyone to come on the show in the next few weeks. I may not be here, so it might be this crazy split screen weirdness because I'll be in Springs, but it's a cool little spot. People won't feel so weird because they'll see the green screen and they'll know shit's about to get weird because we can make all sorts of
Wow, you could, right?
cool shit, bro. Yeah, exactly. Everyone will get green shirts just like you have.
It's right here, and
And everyone will get little arm sleeve things, which we do have a pair here somewhere.
Little random
And
floating
then
heads.
everyone can be like little heads, and I'll be the biggest head, and I'll be somewhere else. Yeah, it'll be great.
Great idea.
Yeah, it'll be great, bro.
So on to seeds here now.
Of course, which I thought he'd be here.
He said he'll be here around 5:30 from what I saw in the chat room.
And that's perfect. There you go.
Right on.
So he's actually still on time, which is great. James, who I saw today, Mr. Seeds here now himself, is in town, so he'll be here later on in the show. But of course, his company that he is here representing is the best there is as far as American seeds, and a couple other guys squeaked in recently, but I think for the most part it's like 99. It's basically like feminized plants. It's 99.96 or whatever. But it's mostly American breeders. There's a couple of, like I said, there's a couple. but the best of the best for sure, and also the best returns policy and the best guarantee and all those things that are important as far as the seed company goes, and obviously delivery and turnaround time and all the details you need to do, which is he has a 10-person team that are just rocking it right now, so that's part of the deal because it's not the easiest thing to do, and a lot of people think it is, and they start these little lame, slow, classic stoner style. Like I have the worst post etiquette in the world, I'll be like, oh yeah, sure, and then 2 weeks later I'll be like, what? Oh yeah, I forgot. Man. Oh yeah. So the thing is that's never been my thing, and I don't do it or ask to do it, and never do it because that's not that to me is always oh no, that's a hindrance right there. And part of it is not just that, but the reality of taking the fucking risk half the time, and so by doing all that, he's it's a big service to the world right there, because it's it's one of those things where he's taken a beating, he's done it all, he's 15 times this thing gets closed down, and he has to pay somebody to fix it and do it. You start adding that all up, and it's retarded. So that's where half the money goes these days is the bullshit, because that's what it is to do something like that. And then the other half is just to keep everybody happy. And there's really, it's that's what people always think is oh, it's so easy. It's no.
No.
Try to get 35 people together and, keep them all happy on this thing that they think they're going to do wonders in, because the seed game is rough, So anyway, help do your part, help pay all the people by, supporting him. And, you just at least know you got the best from the right people, and it's the real deal, and there's no bullshit. And if there is any bullshit, you can clear it all up quickly, because it's all very, open style, which is good, that's what it's all about. So if there is an issue, usually you're not the only one, and if you are the only one, it means you're just a shitty grower. So it's pretty simple. It's there's just simple facts. There's simple facts to reality.
Yep.
But even if you are, he will still guarantee it, which is awesome. You know what I mean? So
I got some of the sales up here if you want me to read a couple.
Of course, because I'm not gonna look at my phone.
All right. Happy New Year. This sale will begin at 12 a.m. on the 1st and end on the 31st. Buy any two of any combination of Dominion Seed Company 6 mil or Sangria Punch and get a free gift of Distribution's Choice while supplies last. Buy any two Soulfire and get a free gift of YU Jelly while supplies last. Buy any 2 packs of second generation seeds and receive a free gift of Distribution's Choice while supplies last. Buy any 2 packs of, is it Bog or BOG? Sorry, I don't know. Bog, B-O-G, Bog. Okay, buy any 2 packs of Bog and get a free 5-pack of Sweet Cindy and while supplies last. And please note that the above listed gifts will not show up in the cart upon checkout. They will be manually added by our distribution personnel. There's more on there too. If you want to go to seedsherenow.com to check it out.
You said moron, bro.
He said it.
He did. I heard it.
Moron. Yeah. That's good stuff.
That laughing. This is it, literally the laughing head.
The laughing head.
Yeah.
The talking head.
Well, literally. All right. But yeah, Seeds Here Now, like I said, top seed bank, and also Seedaholics you can go to, which is their based on, you can jump off this website and see it, or you can go direct to it, and it's their auctions and their charities and all the interesting sort of last packs and lost packs and crazy shit. So sometimes that's interesting to do, because you maybe either help somebody out and buy something crazy, and or both, and then there might even be something there that nobody realizes is the next big thing.
You never know, man.
I just needed that.
Is there a done deal there too?
Done deal's always,
Done
of
deal.
course.
Magic.
Of course. You say, I want the done deal for sure.
You don't know unless you pop the pack.
That's right. Promo code. Done deal.
Done deal. Promo code always. Like I said, gas station anywhere. Try it. KT, I tried it. You try it, right, KT? Don't you?
$75 a gallon, dude. That's what I got.
Yeah.
It's got to work once in a while.
$75 a gallon is what I got from the Dunn deal.
Did you?
Done.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. No. You got to spell it right. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Oh, you fucked up. Anyway, well, thanks to all the. Oh, and also Treasure, which is see now I don't think he has really a website. I think it just has his Facebook thing because he's one of those guys. Yeah. So you go to the Facebook page, you look at Treasure, which is Tresor, and Treasure in Barcelona, and then you'll see that one that's a cool looking dope spot, and that's basically my boy Petey. So you go over there, just walk on in, say done deal. And I guarantee.
Not twice.
No, you'll get free entry and you get free membership, which is
Just like that.
Just like that.
It's almost worth the trip.
Yeah.
It's literally worth the trip.
You just got to go to Barcelona now.
So you just have to go to Barcelona. Yeah,
Easy squeeze.
Save $5, travel to Barcelona.
Yeah, no big deal. Barcelona,
Well,
super close.
Cannabis this year is going to be interesting because we are doing ADSI. We're gonna do it on the 14th. So if you get there on the 13th or 14th,
It's not going to be here.
we're doing it there for sure, and then maybe we'll do one here. But if you really
It's
want to
a
be
long
cool,
way to go. I'll go. I guess I'll go.
you should go.
I'll go.
You should go.
I'm going to go.
Okay. This time, make sure you pack your fucking torso properly, though. Don't end up looking like that idiot. when
Maybe
you get
take
there.
a carry-on instead.
Now you're gonna fuck up.
That's hilarious, man. I didn't know the shirt was going to do this, man.
Well, now you do.
Far out.
You should have brought more.
I could have thought of it better. I mean,
Glad I didn't wear my green
I
shirt.
do that all the time. Yeah.
It's okay. I didn't give anybody directions.
Yeah.
It's okay. I wish you had more though. If you had 5 of them, I would
Man,
have.
that would have been cool.
Then we could have done it.
Make it so.
Make it so. You could have.
I could have.
Fucked up, bro. It's the one time to get rid of like 5 of them,
Sure,
6 of them, 10 of them. You could get rid of 10 of them.
It's a limited edition. You should go on when the next printing.
Limited edition.
I'll have
'cause
to
you're
make
wearing
Adam
it?
Dunn show shirts that with that, and then people won't get it until they're here, and then when they're here, they'll wear them, and
You got one.
they can be like 3 different designs and make you look really
them
really
all
stupid. You just can't see it until you see it. You're like, what? Oh no, bro! I thought it was cool.
You used to green letters, man.
Huh?
Just like green letters, like bullet holes. Yeah. Used to be floating around with holes.
You sink it to a whole other level.
All right, all right. So,
That was a good dab.
Baby,
dude,
you
by the
know
way.
more dabs for
Yeah,
him.
right, that's good.
No more dabs.
No more dabs.
No, man, just one more, man. I swear. The last one.
Just stick to
One
the,
more,
Just stick
that's
to the pen.
Yeah, the pen is good.
so let's talk about last night.
Yeah, what thing?
Since we got a segue now, since the head's now happy, his head's getting happier, so he's good.
The smoking head now.
My friend always said I was just a head.
He can chill out now over there. So last night we were at the Living Soil Solution, or what was the name? It was called. What was the name of the night?
Living Soil Solutions.
Living Soil Solutions.
You weren't there.
I
How do
wasn't
you
there.
know?
I had to sleep.
I told you to come.
I didn't say anything. I was there.
MTI should have been there. All you guys suck.
I wanted to be there so bad.
It's okay. It's all right. I was there.
I killed
was a fun
myself.
time.
But it's hard to
It
cut.
was good. It was like 100 people. Yeah, maybe 80 people, something like that. Maybe 100 people.
Pretty educational.
So
And
what
it-
kind of event was it?
Good audience.
It was a organic minded sort of cannabis, like super heavy, obviously.
Man.
And had a smoking tent outside, and the looper bus was parked there. Luckily, because then the classic. I felt like I was doing my own event because the heating was broken, and the tent was outside, and it was crooked. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, this is something like I would have done this, and then I would have been like, oh, this sucks. Like, how come the tent has to be crooked? And how come the So everyone walks in, you feel like you're on a boat. Because you were like walking sideways,
Right?
Did you feel like you're on a boat or something?
Yeah, it's kind of like downhill slope, kind of.
So there was some logistical sort of things that maybe just sort of sucked, and you couldn't smoke inside, which kind of sucked. But the inside, as far as the educational side, was good. They had a chef. He was a bit slow. I didn't quite understand what was going on. Like you had salad like for an hour, and then you had hour salad, power or something, hour. Anyway, no, it was literally an hour, and then Some soup came out, and then I knew it was medicated. But then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, so it's medicated." Now I'm getting it. All right, so maybe what you
That soup disappeared quick. I didn't get a bowl of that soup, Joe.
I got some. Did you get another course after that though?
No.
Oh, okay.
Was there one?
Done deal. You didn't tell him.
I was in the bus dabbing.
Me too. I don't know. That was the problem. We were all on the bus doing smoking and dabbing.
Your thing, yeah.
It wasn't my thing. It was the thing I told you to come to. When you texted me, I was on the bus sitting
Really?
there.
Oh,
And I was like, yeah, we're here still. So the party's still here. But we were outside on the bus at that point because we were just smoking. That's the problem.
the party bus.
Yeah, well, if they make the smoking area like that's cool, too cool, then you just end up there because then why would you go back to the party? Because then you're just like, fucking.
That's a good point.
So you
Can't
have
be
to.
that cool.
Yeah, so the party bus kind of sucked because it made it like, well, this is way cooler because it's warm, and it's like
It wasn't slanted.
It wasn't slanted. Like the bus literally like righted itself because it was so nice, and it was like on a hill, but it like it like made itself straight. So you were like, oh yeah, this is some shit right here. And then the tent was like you're on a boat. Anyway, but no, the event was good.
Yeah.
And Brian did a good job, and I think that was like one of those things where it was. And then you had Frenchie there, which is cool because then you watch. I love to watch people watch Frenchie.
Yeah.
Because they're like, like half of them don't know what he's saying, the other half get it, but they don't get it. And like, there's like 30% that are just like locked in, like, whoa, anything that Frenchie says. And he had some good stuff though. He actually he came up with some good points. Everybody like
About
it was funny because it was great, and Squatch was talking earlier, and he was just like, it was great because classically I was supposed to go up and moderate like you or do something, but they didn't really tell me, and this girl just kept like just butted in and like threw him on stage like he was like like he was a white fish, like, here, throw him up now,
speak.
And
like, oh,
and he was like, oh, I was like, so I was like, well, that sucks. Now he's already started. And then I got pulled by the security guy. And he's like, hey, aren't you the guy with the clothes? And I'm like, oh, Jesus. So I started talking to him. And I was like, yeah, Squatch is cool. He doesn't need me. And then at first, you said you're going to be up and down in 5 minutes, right?
dang it, I tried.
He goes, I'll be up and down in 5 minutes. He was up there for like maybe 15 minutes, 20,
Right on,
25,
man.
maybe 20.
That's
15,
good.
20.
Was it
That's
that long?
something to say.
It was pretty long, 15, at least
Something to
15.
say.
It felt like about 3 hours.
It was like 20 minutes, maybe. It could have been more, but it was like good because it was all real stuff. And like, first people were like asking him about bubble hash, and there was a lot of people there that were there to see Frenchie, so they were like already grilling him about his bubble hash. Like, man, what screens? What? And he was kind of being all just like, yeah, read the thing and just shut the hell up. Like, read Bubble Man's thing. I'm not gonna answer nobody about nothing because there's no point of telling them really any of the secrets of what I mean. Like, yeah, there's a few good secrets, and they're kind of like they're not really the secrets. They're just like technique, and technique is just like do enough and you're going to figure it all out. It's not that hard.
You figure it out.
You kind of have to, and you have to let people do that because it's sort of like maybe they'll have an aha moment and they'll come up. Like I always like it when I see somebody who does something just super smart and fucking super easy.
Out just right.
Or just easy, and you're like, oh yeah, I should be doing it like that. Like, dude, why?
Sorry, I can't tell you that just quite how I do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it just happens that way.
Well, with the bigger bags, it comes down to how you pull the bag. So it's either you mechanically pull it with some sort of winch, or you have two people who do it, or one person who's fucking ridiculous.
Just break your back.
And their back's fucked.
Like,
you know what I mean?
like Big Mike.
Exactly. Like, "Wah!" And then they're like, dude, you can't do that every time because it's like there's so much resistance in the bags when you're pulling it with a lot of water, right? So.
Shaking those things.
Yeah, and you see, you gave up technique already.
That's part of it, right?
Oh, you're giving away secrets.
I know, that's all it is.
You
it's all
know, my buddy,
tapped.
he would take it, he twist it, and
No, it's like this. No, it's this. No, it's
After
this.
all the water's
It's
out of
this.
it.
This.
Oh, the tickler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everyone knows that. Like, dude,
I know
gotta do that.
I know.
It's why the skills.
That's not really a secret.
Yeah, right.
It's a skill set, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I gotta work
Get
the
it to come
fingers,
out
working.
If you
Hey,
can't
ooh,
tickle,
ooh.
you're in the wrong business.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's it's
Tickled
good
many
practice.
a bag. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that. A lot of slapping. A lot of bottom slapping.
There's a lot of slapping.
Yeah, that's why I like it so much.
We're still on bubble hash, right?
I hope so.
Boaz. Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Purple bag. I do like it. For some reason, the purple bag. For some reason,
oh, purple.
it's not green. At least.
No, purple.
I was gonna wear my
That's
purple.
120. That's 120 or something. That's,
Yeah, but they did. The audience had great questions. They were pretty attentive, and
what questions they have? You have any good questions, MTI?
no, I was meaning the thing last night.
Oh, last night. Yeah, no, our show, we have terrible questions.
Oh, questions here. I don't see any
Audience,
yet.
what audience?
I haven't seen it. I
was like,
seen
what?
any
The
yet.
audience gave us good
I
questions.
swear there was somebody here.
They were here, but I guess
No, they all left you, bro. They're like,
they
you
all
so lame.
left.
How many people did you say were out there? About 100
Where's 100?
at the event last night, or?
Oh, about 100. Yeah, about 100. Yeah, it was good.
Not a
And it
bad
was a
show.
good, but it was a good number just because it was like small place and it was a decent number of people, and they weren't like, we need to party. It was like they're just kind of like there to listen and education, and you could tell everyone was into it when you talk to people because like he was on stage, he nailed it. Oh, and what I was saying earlier is that the guy then French came on and just totally reinforced exactly what you said about stressing plants and making resin, and of course he threw the resin.
Oh, resin.
You must make the resin by stress. And I was like, oh, well, there you go. They fucking just got fucking totally like, because I think at one point when you
I didn't
said
get to
that,
see his speech.
when you said it, the girl was like, no, you can't. And then you were like, yeah, of course you do. And it's like, well, you
gotta baby him.
Yeah, you gotta It's like, no, they actually like to get, not super stressed.
Just
I mean,
a little
obviously-
bit. At the end,
Yeah.
You can't kill him. Obviously.
No, and okay, so
But
It's always
there's,
been
but there's
the
a
wedge
fine
at the
line,
bottom, right?
Right.
between pushing them as hard and to their
How'd you
full
know I was gonna say
potential
Yeah.
Right.
and death.
I was just gonna say, right? People will think that they'll think like, oh yeah,
Hey,
you
wedge
gotta
in there.
cut it, yeah, and you can if you want to be fucking barbaric
Yeah,
and
but
crazy,
you
but
just crack maybe.
yeah, even if you just like, what I used to do is I did it always like right before like maybe like the week before flower and then the week after flower, and I kind of just twist a bunch of like all the branches on this inside, hear them crack,
Break the inner
kinda-
herd.
Yeah, just kind of
Yeah.
crack, and I kind of do the old twist.
Just enough to break that
Yeah.
inner herd,
Yeah.
and not crack the outer.
Exactly. I just kind of do that, and that kind of like, all of a sudden, they get a rush of auxins there, and they get like a whole like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? Start trying to repair, and they repair and become like stronger little plants, and then I do that right before they hit the net. You know what I mean? And
Nice little knots. You know,
and
where you did that.
then you got those little, you got those crowns that were like, and it'd be like, okay, that wouldn't have happened if I didn't crack it, because it kind of, when you cracked it, it kind of fell over a little bit. Instead of having one top, now it has like 5 little tops. You know what I mean? And those little tops are like, sometimes I even crack it to the point where it'd be like, and like half like falling over, and then it would be like, back up the next
I've done
day.
an accident and I cracked them and had to put them on a stick.
Yeah.
A little bit. Same kind of thing, right?
Well, yeah, if you
It'll
fuck up.
happen.
Yeah, of course.
No, I mean, well, what I'm saying is people
It's a
people
million
notice
ways to
that,
clean it
like,
up. I
after you
mean,
go through so many
oh,
plants,
Oh, you crack so many, and you fuck
Yeah,
up.
you
And then you
fuck-
have to
and
tape them and shit.
yeah, so fucked
I mean,
up, right?
Always keep a roll of duct tape on hand.
yeah, I try to keep the lightest, easiest to take off tape if possible, and or green. I like the green wrap
Stretchy
shit.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I like to have that around.
I love that. I used to roll all the time, everything.
And then we have I have the clipper deals, the ones that you use for roses that are
Right.
like, you kind of push
Right.
them in.
Like,
If you have to do
snip
like
'em off.
fucking 10,000, and you're like, oh, these are nice, you go click, click,
Yeah, I
click,
haven't had
click,
to do 10,000.
and then you just load up the fucking thing at the bottom. And then the stupid part is that it's hard to get the loader part. It's easy to get the same tape, but it's like
Right.
too much, so you end up having to take half the tape off and then load. It's like kind of like a waste. So,
Right.
so anyway,
10,000.
10,000. like clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's not that many. They have like a few plants that are big. All of a sudden you start thinking like 10,000.
He was thinking 10,000 plants.
I'm like, wow, man, it's man, Adam, you moved the fuck up. You rolling right now.
Well,
it's
that's
It's
doable.
an afternoon's work.
23,000 plants right now we have to deal with. But
Really?
that's so we may have to bring a couple of those down there.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys need these probably because
Yeah.
they're definitely. It's one of those things. Like it sucks to do, but if you do it, your canopy is going to improve so much. There's so much like that's literally the the moment in time when you actually have some control, which is kind of cool when you're
Most of
growing.
it's genetic.
The
and
rest of it's all just genetics
its thing.
that's his most important thing.
Right.
But once you know a plant a little bit and you're like, okay, no, actually, if I could break it down here, slow it down, make it do this, twist it that way, fit 6 more in the fucking zone, and now you know exactly where they're going to end up because that one's going to go there, that one's going to go there, and you start like almost fucking playing the game Tetris or
Right.
something like that,
Right.
and you're
Filling in the holes.
trying to fill in the plants, and I know this plant real well. It's got 3 tops. They're going to be one there, one there, one there. I can just slide 2 of them in the same area. Whereas if you didn't know it, you'd be giving it all this room and you're walking around it and you're like, how come this plant only has 3 tops? Like, because that's the way it
That's
fucking
how it
grows now.
grows,
It's
yeah.
like,
I got something like that. I love it. Real tight.
yeah, then you can
Tight,
fit like
right?
9 where somebody else
Exactly.
fits 2, or 1.
It's good to know your plant structure.
Yeah, structure is great. I love structure.
I love structure. Obviously not if you don't have a body, dude. I love structure, except now.
Wish I had some.
Says the guy.
No more dabs.
Says the guy with no body. Says the guy with no body. I have structure.
That's good stuff. Wow.
I think it might have been that dab.
That was hilarious. It's just killing me.
See, that's good. That's the way to smoke. If you're gonna have dabs in general, you might as well just have them fucking straight like that. Boom. Why the hell not?
It's kind of nice.
I like them. That's good.
A little
Quick,
plethora.
quick, convenient.
Finally.
Quick and convenient.
Feel
Squash.
medicated. Oh, hey, that CBD thing is it kicking in?
Yeah, I feel pretty relaxed.
Man,
Yeah.
I really know. I don't know because
It could be a combination of
Wait,
everything.
roll your
but-
sleeves. Roll your sleeves up. Oh my God! Look, you're growing, dude. You're growing. You grew. Oh, your body's growing. You can roll your belly up now.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, you can roll your belly up, and then you'll be kind of growing from the bottom to the top to connect.
Yeah, you
Crazy,
should feel a little
bro.
more relaxed.
Yeah. If you get naked now, you'll actually be a human being.
Full
compared
Brett
to,
Kreischer.
floating there.
Could be that or this.
You grow any Hawaiian strains ever? Like
No.
true Hawaiian strains?
No.
Because I feel like Oregon and Hawaii have a big connection, especially Big Island in a weird way. Like I think there's like that's like a back and forth like crew that there's a couple crews that I don't know them personally, but I'm just thinking like that is the possible origin of the dog bud connection for the the origins of the OG in my opinion, just because of the likelihood that there's some fucking top growers from both of those places crossing, past genetics.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Maybe clones, but I don't believe so much clones back in the day. But like definitely seeds. And this weed was
You're onto something.
This was some seeded weed that came from Oregon that was grown, that P Bud sold to fucking G, and so that makes it kind of like, okay, where is this?
Where'd the Oregon weed come from?
Where'd the Oregon weed come from?
Right.
And then could there possibly be a Hawaiian connection? That was my original thoughts as far as a general OG kind of like origin because of the fruitiness and the sort of because people are like, oh, it's OG is like they think of OG as like, oh, it's gonna be some big it's like, no, dude, you ever grow it? It's like fucking viney and it's not. It's got some weird sativa tropical background that's like bizarre and shouldn't be growing anywhere really like naturally
anywhere
too much not here, not in the state, not in the jungle, and that's not a jungle. I don't know, maybe it's like it feels like it's because it's viney. It would just get even worse if it was somewhere that was super humid. But it grows in 90-degree grow rooms in LA really good, 95s, 100s. Like people, they come into these rooms. I'm like, holy shit, dude, how hot is it in here? They're like 97. And I'm like, what? And the guy and it's like it's still growing pretty good because it's like it just kind of likes that just really heavy, weird, hot fucking it can just kind of adapt it to it. So it's one of those strange plants. It's,
Well, I heard
That's
that there's
super.
I talked to some guys that were talking about the guy that was playing around with the real OG back in the day, and the ocean grown thing. I don't even know if I want to talk about that right now because that's just crazy stuff. But I think it's going to show.
not the California ocean growth.
No,
That's
exactly.
bullshit.
That's a bunch of bullshit. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. What you're talking about can be proven now, genetically through testing, if you have
maybe
the
fail.
Puna from back then. They would show that they're related. No.
Of course, they they could come up on the galaxy. It's like one of those things now where the galaxy should answer some questions, but at the same time, it's weird too because there's sometimes when you're
You
like
go back the other way, right?
Well, you just kind of sometimes like that's almost impossible.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
How could that be like that? Like almost like where I'm like, oh, like like anything. If that's not right,
then everything else is
everything else is wrong.
Right. Yeah. Right.
The
Right.
world
Right.
is wrong.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
So
right?
That's
in a
kind
way,
of like that DNA test. That what about?
I won't do that.
Yeah.
No.
Why?
Because they're trying to fucking
Track your shit.
Yes. Why would you hand it to them and
I won't do
pay the
that,
money to
man.
hand? Here you go.
Yeah.
No, it's like it's already there. I mean, theoretically, everybody's going to get their shit taken at some point somewhere, whether it be via getting arrested or whatever, being in the moment at the time, getting into an accident, going to the hospital, getting your blood
Right,
changed. There's like a million
right.
ways that they're going to be like, oh,
Swapping in your sleep, sneaking in your window.
it's gonna be one of those harder to get around things just in general because it's gonna get more and more weird. So, not to get off the subject, but that's definitely on its way. I'm already seeing that like where it's like, Colorado.
Happened to me.
Happened to you what?
Well, when
Microchips?
I was in
I was
lockup.
about to talk about microchipping. I was just about to talk about microchipping, and you're like, happened to me. Happened to me.
I was in
oh,
federal
really?
lockup.
So you've been microchipped with I can see the future. 2 seconds.
No.
I can see 2 seconds into the future.
No, but now they swab you
Yeah.
on the inside of your mouth, and they get a DNA test when you get arrested. At least when you do with the federal government, and they get in there and they dig with it. They did 2 of them just to make sure they had, and they did a vigorous one.
Vigorous. Oh.
Yeah,
How did it look? How is the tool looking?
Yeah, how'd they collect your DNA again?
They scrape it off the inside of your cheek.
I
They
don't know.
got this thing.
With what though?
Like this little scraper, a plastic scraper
That's
thing,
good.
man.
As long as it's plastic.
But anyway, everybody
Latex.
then went
Like a
to
giant
DNA.
latex thing, red and green.
Vigorously.
At 3 speeds.
Twice.
I felt awkward. Are you sure it was just one vigorous?
That's funny. Vigorous.
Nobody wants to hear vigorous. Actually, right now TSA is fucking falling apart. Everyone's like calling in sick, calling in at all other hours.
Yeah.
No one's going to go. They don't have much. People are writing in letters to their boss saying, "Well, I can't afford gas to get there and get home without getting
Yeah, what do you
paid.
want me to do,
So what do you
right?
want me to do now? You know what I mean? It's everyone's like,
Jeez.
"Oh shit!" So it's getting kind of weird, isn't it? Like I mean, it's one of those things. This is like. Again, idiocracy. Really, like all I think of is like the trash dump. Where what was it like? They had like a strike, and then it just went on for like 500 years or something like that. And they had like the trash
Until
piled
it
up
tipped.
until it fell over, and then
There's
started
a
the great
tidal wave.
avalanche. Right, and that's
Yeah.
kind of how the whole thing starts. Where
Yeah.
you're like, it's kind of where we're at. Like people are just going on strike, and soon it's going to be like piling up trash. People are going to be all freaking out. No one's going to know what to do. They're going to be all, dude, I can't operate nothing because I'm retarded. And you're like, oh my God, we're there. Like it didn't take but like 10 years for
It's going to be Europe.
It's what plants crave.
somebody's already that's already
Attention.
even like happened for real. Like somebody's actually brought that like for real up.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what?
It's happened. I know.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, bro. It's like it's already people are already on that like, oh yeah, they knew this, and you're like, no, dude, that was a movie that came
Yeah.
out 10 years ago. You gotta stop. Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's there. We're at the
Wow. I remember
just
when I
blew
saw
his
that
mind.
movie, man.
Yeah.
It seems like everything in that movie is slowly just coming to fruition, man.
and it was supposed to be 500 years in the future, and it's 3. Like no, it's
Wow.
12. It's like, not even, no, is it 10 years?
10, I
pretty
think, something
crazy.
like
I think
that.
it might have
Yeah.
been a decade recently. It was one of the few DVDs I ever bought.
Wow.
I have a
That blows
copy
my
of it,
mind.
and it's like, because when I had to buy something to like I don't know some stupid points or something like that, and I was like, oh look, Idiocracy, I'll take that. And I
That's a great movie,
and
man.
I was like, that's the best. Yeah,
It's just unbelievable.
it's now becoming like a Bible, So it's like, okay, we're at that point in life where a thing that, by a guy that's a genius, because with, Mr. Judge, he's like one of those guys where it's like the profits, it seems like all the profits now are all the guys who write for all the comic book, for the cartoons, like Family Guy, Simpsons, South Park, all the people.
Right.
They're the ones who are like the most cutting edge.
Say stuff.
Like actually right on point with everything. Like to the point where with
Simpsons is eerie how much stuff has come true that's been on there.
That is true.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's
a lot of it's been bullshit too, because they've been like,
Dang.
there's so much media like hype now where they
to like
just
match
say it and people believe it, and you're like, no, actually look into that. No, it's not true. But for the most part, yes. And then
I mean, look how long ago they called Trump being president.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That alone is already like
Now,
huge.
that's kind of weird.
Well, that alone is huge.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Or that one thing where the Arabs and Trump
Yeah.
were all
Yeah, I think
hovered
that
over the
was fake.
ball.
I think that was
The
fake.
picture looked almost,
I think that was
Yeah.
fake. I think that was fake.
That was an actual episode.
No, I think it was fake.
You sure?
Yeah. I
Fake
think-
meme.
All right. Our incredible crew of trolls. Jump now, trolls. Well, which one is it? Is it real? I don't think it's real. You think it's real?
What?
No.
I'm sorry, I was checking the feed.
The
Simpsons.
Simpsons with the guys standing around the orb compared. I think that was a
With that-
fake.
with
That turned out to be a
cheek.
hoax. You remember the
Faces
guy?
all glowing.
Remember the
Yeah.
guys were all standing around with Trump, standing around with all the Arabs?
Oh, that whole thing. Yeah.
I believe it was a fake. So it can. I said all of our incredible troll crew that we have that listens on
Well,
our
I just
chat,
got
the chat
educated
gang.
then.
The chat gang. Who can tell us
That's
if
what the
that's true or
Russians
not?
want.
Tell us if that's true. Tell us if that's true.
That's what the Russians want. They want
Squash
us
is
to
saying yes. He's saying yes.
Putin and Zuckerberg together. Think about it.
Today,
man.
on this day, if anybody's obviously going to be listening to this in the future, so to mark the day, it was
Today.
what's his name? Fucking the guy arrested today. What's his name? Roger whatever.
Roger Stone?
Roger Stone.
Oh, yeah, Stone.
Roger Stone, that's
He
right.
got
Yeah,
arrested.
Roger
He got
Stone.
arrested today. So
They
that
woke
was,
him up in bed.
Yeah, they woke him up. They came in
you
all
know
flash.
film crew?
They almost came in flashbang style. It was pretty awesome. I was all like, they were
man.
ready. They were like, "We're FBI, open up the door!" And he came out all. Of course, it was like, really, they're gonna come up with a fucking SWAT team just.
Yeah, and a camera crew.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Well, yeah, you always got to
It's
have a
amazing
camera.
how the news crew know they were kicking down the door in the morning.
Oh,
That's
you know.
crazy.
Of course, gonna know. But it was like it was
They got a little hunch.
pretty interesting to see the combination where you're like, oh shit's about to happen.
Yeah,
It's
right.
going down. They're about just storming places and.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. Our country is completely haywire, which is interesting because it's like being front row.
It can't get any worse.
That's true.
We're else gonna
say that, really?
Yeah, I did.
know.
I hope I'm wrong. All right.
Me too, man. No, yeah.
You're officially in America, but you're barely here. But you're also like halfway to Russia.
That's why I like Hawaii, man.
Well, you're all the above. You're in the most dangerous place in the world, and the most beautiful place in the world, and the most cool place in the world. And there's a lot of things that it's the most, but it's definitely one of those places where it's you've been there for years, right? How many years?
25 here.
25, right? So that's about as long as I think we started our company in 93, so that was probably what, 91 or something like that, or
Yeah.
no,
93.
no,
I got out there. I
Yeah,
think.
93. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so about the same.
93.
Oh my God, look at that.
Right in the beginning, man. Right in the
Oh,
beginning,
bro,
dude.
93 was such a
Dude,
good
look-
year.
Dude.
Bro, 93.
Dude, 93,
oh,
man.
It was a good year, I have to say.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
It's a year I started my company there. I'd already been there about 4 years at that point because I got there 89. And then for the first 4 years I was doing other stuff, but then I got my weed game on in 93 hard. Like I already did the museum for a couple of years and stuff like that.
Right.
But
Hash museum.
yeah. And then Sensi and all that. But then as far as me getting like my own spot and doing my own thing, it was 93. I was like, all right,
93, that's a
big
long
year.
time, dude.
Oh, this is it. And then didn't seem like much for a while, but then all of a sudden you start getting 10 years on, and then 15, and then 20, and you're like, holy shit.
I'm saying shit like 20 years ago. I'm like, whoa, I just keep saying 20 years ago to people. Like,
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I mean 25. And then it's like, oh, no, it's getting real bad now. Yep, it's getting bad.
Thanks, Adam.
So you're old. So you hit 50 recently, right?
Yeah, on the 27th of July, man. 7/27, man. You're right there, dude. You're right there.
I'm coming up behind
You're
you.
right there,
I
man.
know.
You're just coming right up.
I know.
Keep moving to the light. There's nothing to see. Just keep moving to the light.
I got 6 months. I got 6. Well, no, I got 5 months. I got 5 months.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's gonna be rough. Yeah.
It's all right, though. You're looking good, man.
I'm alive. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
I
alive,
think
yeah.
the funny part is
You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
what I've noticed is all the people that you think are going to be really, really, really hurting. It's not always true. Sometimes you're like, wow, like I'm quite amazed. It seems like people got younger looking as they got a little bit older, just because people were people were partying so hard and they just didn't realize it. And all of a sudden they like stopped a little bit, gained a little bit of weight. All of a sudden you're like, oh right, oh wow, you look way better than I've ever seen you before. Like I've always seen you looking like a fucking ghost, like all just pilled out or who knows what. But now all of a sudden you're like, wow, you look actually pretty good. So some of these 50-year-olds that I've seen,
right,
I've been impressive with. I've been very impressed with.
Yeah, because I keep remembering, like, oh yeah, I remember like my
I'm not talking about you, of course. I'm
my
just
girlfriend's dad.
I'm talking about friends of mine, other friends of mine.
It's all about him.
You're killing me.
He's young.
Oh, I don't know if I'd
He's
say
hiding behind a
young.
beard. He's hiding behind a beard. We'll never know.
Fear the beard.
Not
I'm
that
getting
much
up
farther
there.
behind you.
Yeah.
You're a couple of years young. Once you're like 2 years younger, you're like,
You got so
you
much
don't
to learn.
understand. You don't understand.
So much to learn.
I'm already feeling old.
Yeah. Well,
You and me both.
I think the key to all of it is
CBD is good.
CBD is great for us older guys, but
No, I feel better. I feel it.
Where's that?
that?
That Harley Sue.
Right,
So if you want to dab a CBD, that's some CBD live resin right there.
Yes.
there you go, right there. Did you try that yet?
Can you feel a little bit of the 20 mil? I mean, you know how it is. It takes you got to do quite a few.
There's no film double. 20
I eat
mils
probably
nowhere.
500 milligrams of CBD a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need a whole pack.
A tincture, yeah. Yeah, keeps me from popping tons of pills for my back.
Yeah. It's really good for that. That's what people don't understand, like that chronic, consistent, just annoying pain. CBD does a lot for it.
The dew, bro.
It does a lot. Yeah.
Dude, that will really. This will help you out, bro.
If you drink the dew,
Do it up.
you will do it.
I don't know if I should do it yet.
Invisidu.
I'm an email guy.
You can't even see it, bro.
I love that stuff. I know I'm feeling it. I got nerve damage, right?
Yeah, you should be able to feel that.
What, you see it feeling in your arm? Or
No, I
whatever?
feel less all around, overall.
Talk about his gummies.
Yeah, I
You
think
had
so,
two of
pretty
them or
sure.
one of them?
Just one.
Well, they only like 20 mil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possible, bro.
Okay, well, hey, man.
I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem.
It doesn't seem possible yet.
Yeah. Well, you only have a head. You don't have half a body, so
Well,
it's like
Yeah, it's not going to take
I'm sure you
much.
could do 20.
No,
head is at like
that's
20%.
hilarious. That's hilarious. That's freaking hilarious.
I know. It's great. I'm so glad you wore a green shirt. So I
Well,
can make
that's
fun of
why
you
we
all
want
the
to
time.
do like a
Obviously,
pack.
nobody who listens to this show understands what I'm talking about, but the fact that you're wearing a green shirt on a green screen
I know.
equals you have a head and
But you
arms.
can see my
awesome.
genetics logo right there.
And your logo, of course.
Yeah.
So you're just a
Glow in the
head.
dark too,
Yeah.
right?
Bro.
Nice.
Brah.
Like that. Brah.
Brah.
That's why we did those 20 mils so that you could like build up or buy a pack, and then we're gonna have different
I understand.
quantities.
You don't want to make it 500 mil fucking CBDs, but
Not everybody's Adam Dunn.
no. But I'm always just like, it's when they're 5 mil. That's when it's shocking because you'll get diabetes before you'll
Yeah.
ever.
And you never know
That's
how
a
they're
good
gonna.
point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, you
Yeah.
don't want to eat too much sugar. Right?
No.
That's the problem. And those are
Yeah.
big. Those are
Yeah.
humongous. Yeah. Those could be. You could do smaller ones and keep the same dosage on the smaller ones, and then make those a little more, even bigger. Like bigger dosage on that size of a jelly would be cool. Like I'd be like, all right,
Okay.
there's a hundy jelly.
All right,
Make
yeah.
it 20. Make some smaller ones. Because the thing is, for me, it's always about not just the CBD, how much accumulation or THC, but like how much do I have to fucking travel to get there? You know what I mean? If I have to travel too hard, I'm like, oh, that is fucking not worth it. Like 7 brownies, you're like, holy shit, that's not gonna fucking fly. I don't need
That doesn't
7.
work.
I can eat 7 brownies. Give me like one big brownie, like, or at least power wise.
Right.
But anyway,
No, that's what
that
good
would
knowledge.
Be that would be my thing. I would say go smaller, higher dose. Like keep the dose, because the thing is with everything is like you're gonna. with CBD, you're not going to overdose anybody, so I wouldn't worry about it. That's not like even an issue. But at the same time,
All right.
I had a weird experience recently where I had these CBD pills that were like 8 milligrams of CBD and then like less than, it was like 0.8 THC in there or something like that. It was like less than 1%. And my friend took it and he like freaked out and like he was like high for like a day or something like that. It was really strange.
Wow.
I've never had anyone freak out like that on that low of a
Yeah, I mean,
dosage,
that
you know
low
what I
of
mean?
a dosage.
That seems really weird to me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I have noticed, and that's why we're doing like kind of what Adam, these are just the first launch. Just wanted to get the flavor out there and get people, knowledgeable.
Definitely like the flavor, and my
Yeah.
wife liked the flavor. And
Perfect.
The fact that it's vegan is huge. So you'll crush it on those points. So that's good. And I would just say, because that seems like a big commitment for 20 milligrams
Yeah,
or whatever.
it
You're like, and I don't usually eat gummies because of the gelatin part. So I'm not like, I want to sit there and eat 200 of them or something like that. Like some people think of gummies. They think of gummies. They think of like, I must eat
Harley Sue.
200, at least.
Harley Sue live resin. I think the flower tested maybe 0.4% THC and around 18% CBD.
That's high.
Has a really nice terpene profile.
Tastes great.
Interesting.
That higher percentage is good.
So we're gonna bring you guys on in a sec. Yes. Bring you on.
Jay.
When they 10 minutes. Exotic Mike will be here, and who else?
Lonnie from Soulfire Seeds.
Oh, okay, Soulfire, cool, nice. And then, so that's 1, 2. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Knock us out.
All right. Well, then we'll just chill for 10 more minutes.
Yeah,
and we can do that.
We'll do
Natural
a
hemp
halftime.
extracts.
It's the
I'm
Adam
so
Dunn
good at
show.
chilling.
Do a halftime and switch everyone out here.
It's the Adam Dunn show. Yeah, the halftime show. Whoop,
We're supposed to take some dabs.
Is it really halftime, or like we're way over halftime? Aren't we?
Oh,
we pass that
no.
time?
We're about an hour and 20 minutes in, I think.
Oh, that's good. We're looking right on halftime. Oh man, look at that. What did you do? The
Perfect.
Digital dabs.
I should have my little Madonna mic, and then it would be way more professional.
Janet Jackson. He says Janet
Janet
Jackson.
Jackson. Oh, okay. That depends on how you want to think about it. Yeah. Madonna, Janet Jackson, all that shit.
Natural hemp.
We got a
extracts.
funny chat room. This guy says, I just showed my phone to a coworker. See that guy? He created MK Ultra.
.org.
Oh, never mind. I thought he was joking about him, but that's you. I forgot. My bad.
Yeah, thanks.
That's
thanks.
hilarious.
That's funny.
One of those famous jokes.
My bad.
It's all good.
I realized halfway through reading it
One
on the air here.
You're like, So,
Switcheroo.
no switcheroo yet. We got 10 minutes. You can
No
tell me. So you got to give me some shout outs from Big Island.
Right.
Give me all your shout outs. You can do it. You can
Do some shouts.
Now, don't be like our other guy, because we had another guy who shouted out for
Oh my
like literally
goodness.
an hour, and
That was crazy.
That could have went nuts. So just give us like one dog, one dog. You can have one dog.
My dog?
I don't know, a dog. Just pick a dog.
Zane, the Wonder Dog.
All right, cool.
Shout out to
So
Zane,
Dog
the
Dunn.
Wonder
Dog Dunn.
Dog Dunn.
One homie. Let's
Homie.
like,
But we were talking about Big Mike. So Roger Christie, like I said, Roger Christie of the THC ministry, the Cannabis ministry, Hawaii.
nice.
And he's the guy that,
And of course. So it's a ministry. You mean like they do Holy
Well,
Sacrament, and
yeah,
they
absolutely.
bring in people and
well, it's your First
kinda-
Amendment right, and it's a religious right. And
People
the plant
fight.
is God-given. It's not a drug, right? So we believe that, and we fought for that, and we went down for that for a little while there on that thing. But anyway, shout out to Roger because he's back, and he's free, and he's off probation. So shout out to Roger Christie.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, so you were saying a dispensary opened up there?
Yeah, finally, yeah.
So there's
they
only
go-
one,
Yeah, right now they're saying they're gonna have another one maybe in Waimea.
and it's not any homies of yours at all.
no, hell no,
Oh,
no.
so
They're not
we're-
even growing any local strains. It's
What?
ridiculous.
Not growing.
I got a hold of them. I told them what was up, but
Yeah.
it's gonna take them a minute to figure it out. You know.
No.
Let him waste some dollars.
Whatever.
They got some good stuff, though, I'm sure. I saw some of it.
It's a big island. It's literally a big island to have.
It is.
I mean, but it is a huge island.
Yeah,
so
but not to have any Hawaiian weed and you're in Hawaii. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you?
And not only that,
I'm
but
just saying.
you think on that amount of landmass that you'd have like maybe 3 or 4 centers, so that you could like not have to drive to the other side of a humongous island.
Yeah, right. Well, they make it so it took so long that we're just happy to have one. Oh yeah, you got one. Yeah, we're so happy. Thank you. Like, you know,
that's weird.
So weak. You know.
Yeah.
It's just
so
weak,
how do you
know?
really feel about it?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
If I had a body.
If I just had a body. I'm telling you, I could go
cause some damage right
I
now.
would be.
Unfortunately.
I got arms. I got arms. I could do
I'm in the ring. In the ring, you can do something. Is he on the ring or is he on the edge of the ring? What's he at?
What do you mean? Oh no, he's on the floor actually. Under the ring.
Under the ring.
Yeah, he's just part of the floor, really.
Oh, great!
It's like a head coming out of the floor. It's actually kind of weird.
He just pops up each time.
You're like coming out of the bottom of the ring. Yeah, you're the fake. You're the fake.
Killing me. Killing me.
Well, that's cool. It's okay. So you did the dog. You did the dog. You did the dude.
Oh yeah.
Now you can do a business that you don't like. Whatever business you want, it doesn't matter.
Well, BigIslandGenetics.org,
of
man.
course.
That's
Well,
me,
that's
man.
that's normal. But whatever. Anybody else? Like some guy who pumps gas or something. Cool. Somebody you can tell him later and be like, dude, I should give you a shout out. Something that'll pay the bills for you. Like
guy at
anything.
the diner.
We got,
my boy Arron.
Aaron, of course.
Arron, Hawaii, though. He's my boy. Arron Brothers. We're going to be the Arron Brothers.
Aaron
and Aaron.
Aaron.
My
Oh,
boy
shit.
Arron.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's up and comer. He's going to be
okay,
with
now, Aaron
Aaron the Hawaiian.
Aaron originally is, okay, because I have a friend who had part Aaron in his name, and he was very pompous about it. So give me the background on it.
Aaron, it's I believe it's Hebrew,
Yeah.
and it's a man of the mountain.
Yeah.
That's what it means. He's actually Moses' brother, the first mouthpiece, a.k.a. lawyer. He spoke for Moses. That's Aaron.
God, the first lawyer. Jesus
that's
Christ.
Aaron.
That is the worst
You want to
thing
hear
in
some
the
weird
world.
shit, though? I'll tell you some weird shit.
You don't want to be known as the first lawyer. That's the worst.
You really want to admit to that?
Kind of goes, I know, right? Go figure, right?
My friend was the same way, though. He was such an arrogant.
Is that what he said? That he's saying something I just told you?
Well,
About
pretty
Aaron?
much, and it was like, but he was like so uppity about it. And I was like, oh, and he was from England, so it made it even worse.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, he knows who he is.
Well, you know, my last name, ZEEMAN, is Dutch, and that's man of the sea.
Zeeman.
Right, it's man of the sea.
Yes.
So man of the mountain, man of the sea.
Yeah.
I happen to live on the Big Island, which is the largest mountain in the world.
And those aren't
In the largest sea.
fake, made up Instagram names. Those are real.
I made
names.
that up. I know. That's great, though.
No, I'm asking you.
For real. I ain't lying.
Did not make that.
He's like, look into my eyes. I'm serious.
These are not the droids you're
Look me right here.
Not only does he have no body, he fucking made up his name. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I like the name.
It happened
He
that
worked
way.
on that on
For
the
real.
flight in.
It actually happened that way, man. What are the odds?
It just happened. Okay.
It just
good.
happened that way. Man.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Man.
So the Dutch side of you is what? Your dad?
Yeah, my dad. Yeah. Russian, Dutch, Jew. I'll come
Okay.
from Australia.
That's okay. So that was the choice of the Aaron name,
Yeah. Well,
of course.
otherwise, you know, they'd be pissed off. You know.
All right. No,
Get
no.
yours now.
No, you have exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
But actually, I'm a Buju. Actually, I'm a Buju. Mostly.
Buju.
Yeah,
What?
Buddhist Jew.
Buddhist Jew.
Buju.
Okay.
Oh, Buju.
I thought it was a new clothing brand or something.
No, that sounds good.
Buju.
From Hawaii.
Hawaii. Latest.
Hawaii High. Hey, HawaiiHigh.co, man. That's my clothing line. You got your thing going on.
Oh, he's got so
That's
many
why
shout outs.
I love that shirt so much because we do spoofs on, you know, cannabis stuff, right? On the T-shirts, right?
No way.
Shirts so dope,
Cannabis spoof.
they should be illegal. That's what, you like a tagline? Shirts so dope, they should be illegal.
That's pretty nice.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's it. I love that shirt, man.
I did the even the Pope wears our dope when he was cool.
yeah.
That little tagline on our clothing.
That's a good one. I like that one.
And it was like one of the worst photoshops, but it was actually funny because I just like had my girlfriend just like, all right, and it was like this is around 99 or maybe 98, and I was all like, all right, cut off my legs and put it on, and I had like the I had like fat Django style, big fucking huge pants on, and I had these hemp pants made that weighed a fucking ton because they were still like burlap, like huge legs and huge pants, and I picked them up, so I made this advertisement where it was like, even the Pope wears our dope, and then put it out on Easter, and everybody got all pissed off. It was great. It was like one of those.
That's great stuff.
One of those great moments in life when you pissed off all the people around you. When you're like, oh, everyone's mad. Oh, that's cool. I was like, great. This is the best.
You're not pissing somebody off.
Best publicity ever.
Right.
Yeah, because he was in town. He was in town, and it was a big deal. And it was like, oh my god, he can't.
Oh, you know what? I thought of the shout out. He would have killed me if I didn't say it.
Oh my
my
God.
friend Dana. For the Dana Sion from Hawaii Cannabis Expo. It's happening next week, February 8th and 9th.
Holy shit.
Right? I'm going to be there. We're going to be there on Honolulu. And
Worst town. No, but anyway.
well, it's LA. Everybody
It's
wants to go to
LA.
Honolulu, you know.
Yeah, well,
Come check us out. We'll be
I mean,
there
it's
too.
the biggest. I'm sure it's the biggest.
It's the
event
biggest
center.
thing.
Biggest
Yeah.
event center.
Yeah, it's at Blaisdell. It's pretty big. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, and this is like how many years have been doing that?
It's going to be the 4th year.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where normally they would have the competition for the Aloha Cup at that, but he can't do it. He got kind of busy because he also does Steep Hill Labs in Honolulu. That's his laboratory. So they're pushing that to free the plant in June, I believe, where they're going to have the Aloha Cup again. And where I hope to maybe get another trophy. That'd be great. So if I didn't say that, Dana would have killed me.
Oh yeah, you would have lost for sure. That would have been your
You
trophy.
wouldn't have
gone
had a head.
up in dust right there. You'd been like, yeah, you had a chance.
Yeah, but I don't know. Your
fucked
weed
it all
doesn't
up.
look that good anymore, man. I don't know. Well,
That's okay. So, so those are big shout outs for Hawaii. But if you think of any other ones before the real end of the show, you can
to my mom, man.
Oh, of course.
Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to moms.
To my girl, Noreen.
Oh man, he's working it now.
Yeah,
getting
no, she
Yeah.
should be watching. And to Nani, another friend of mine. She's at. And my family, everybody. You know, as a matter of fact, I've been looking to get on this show and say hi to you and thank you very much. Ever since that first email I sent you about the peanut butter, it took me like 10 years to find those seeds again, to find the IBL, the peanut butter. And it's good that it came in a big circle. The story came back, and now I'm talking to you about it. And, you know, things are going good in Hawaii, finally a little bit better. Hopefully things will lighten up. And
Well, the crazy thing is over there, it's like the amount of people that grow indoors compared to outdoors, just because of the, the shitty situation of
and the
of getting
mold.
That I'm sure, and then so the reality is you're like, well, now you're just growing in a shitty place to grow indoor weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You can do that in Antarctica. You can do that in New York City in a basement, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of shitty places to grow indoor weed. Like Florida comes to mind just because it's one of those places where they have tons of sun, but it's so fucking sketchy there. Everyone's like, you have to grow indoors. And they just have huge air
They're doing that
conditioners.
with the dispensary in Hawaii. They make them grow the weed indoors. It's the most ridiculous thing you ever heard of in your life.
I know. And it's like, and when you're in great places, it's retarded. Like, especially when you go inside and then you go in and it's like dim, like doesn't matter how many lights are in the room, it is dim. You're like, well, this is nothing. Then you go outside, you're like, oh,
they're trying to
holy shit.
reproduce
Like,
the sun. It's
like
fine.
that's fucking, there you go. That's the fucking light I'm talking about right there. And all of a sudden it's like, you realize, you got to change a few bulbs because you're like, those bulbs swag. What was the last time we changed those? You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to change bulbs. I hate that. But in general, that's like shows you the reality of like, it doesn't matter how much you try. It's very hard to get that spectrum in that sort of even growth any
Nothing
possible
compares.
way.
The Hawaiian sun, you guys, it's just amazing, and it's great what people are doing with genetics now. I'm on the hunt for the THCV because that's in the tropical equatorial sativas and stuff like that, and it's produced with the high UV, right? So that's what you got in Hawaii. You got unbelievable UV.
Yeah, it'll trigger it.
Yeah, so that's what we're going for.
Well, I think and I think Hawaii obviously is gonna always be like the terroir is like famous and it has that whole thing, and you'll always have that interesting aspect.
It's my mission to bring it back to the top.
But it'd be good if the genetics were as close to authentic as possible, and also, obviously
weed's come a long way, man, since Maui Wowie back in 1972. Right?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is I never really, I was kind of in that weird zone because in the 80s it got so rough everywhere, like it wasn't even funny.
Right.
And like the only weed that I saw, and I wasn't even smoking it, but I saw that was Hawaiian that fucking made me kind of like remember, was like this real wavy, it was like, I don't know, whatever it was, but it came in like a can because the guys were selling it, sending it back to the,
Right.
and my uncle opened it up.
Right.
My uncle opened
In
up
the can,
and he didn't
right.
realize what it was in front of my grandmother.
Right.
He opened it up and she was like, "What's that?" And he was like, "Oh, never mind." And like I looked in the
Right.
can and I saw like this wavy pattern. And I was like, "What's that?" You know, and he goes, "Never mind." And like went downstairs and stashed it. And then later I saw some pulled out and it was like kind of like, every bud had that kind of cool wavy pattern.
Right.
And I knew it was from Hawaii.
Right.
And that was my only like guaranteed that came right from the source at the time, and that was 70. Maybe 5 or something like that.
Damn.
So it was right around the right time when it was all good, So
Yeah.
So it was like, it was.
You know what's funny? At the last year at the Aloha Cup for the best sativa, you know what won? Was Acapulco Gold. Yeah. It's interesting. Hawaiian grown. Acapulco Gold. And that's
Right.
a pretty old strain too.
Yeah, all those strains. I mean, and the thing is, obviously there were interesting things for a reason. The hard part is every time I've ever grown landrace, I'm always like super disappointed. Like where I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what? It tastes like tobacco, or this tastes like. There's a lot of real bunky tasting things.
Right.
And I think it comes down to
Pheno hunting again.
Structure's all nasty and
The structure's great, man.
sometimes they
I would
are.
think.
I mean, but a lot of times you get a lot. I used to get a lot of.
Beefy. My floating arms.
I got a lot of hairy shit. Didn't you get a lot of hairy stuff always? Like seems like more red hairs than bud.
Then you
sometimes.
want, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And you'd be like,
right,
what is
right.
this? I think the plants are just
Farful.
like
Yeah.
very flarfully.
Yeah.
Farful.
yeah, that's kind
That's
of
what
what
I
I
call
mean.
it,
Just
farful.
not
Yeah.
by structure,
I know
just
what you're
kind
talking
of
about.
yeah.
Really good to breed with, though.
Yeah.
Really good to breed with.
Well, that was the thing. You got these
Yeah.
really spicy.
when it doesn't
weird-
taste like dirty chewed up tobacco or something.
Yeah.
right.
You get I'd get some spicy stuff usually that was interesting, and I'd get some. I wouldn't. That was the thing. Is ties are the only thing that at that moment in time back in the day
Right.
when I didn't know what I was doing, or just like, that I found some flavors, and I was probably Laotian, where it probably wasn't Thai, and
Or Cambodian.
got some soup. That's where your THCV zone is. Like that's what you're really looking at. Like as
Right.
far as natural.
Yep, exactly.
Zone.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to be going to Thailand, and because they just made it legal for medical marijuana, I got some people out there that are doing some grows, and they invited me out there, so I can't wait to go out there
Nice.
and look for some seeds. And,
Well, Chiang Mai, we got our guy that was on the show, Sarich.
yeah,
He's there. And
he's there. I got to check him out.
Yeah, he's living right there.
For
so
sure.
Steve
That's
Sarich.
great.
He's from Oregon, so
Right.
back on the Oregon.
In Oregon,
See?
Oregon,
Seems-
Hawaii, Thailand.
Seems like somehow everything goes back to Oregon somehow, huh?
Well, I was told that
In a lot of ways.
I was told that by this guy who was growing up there. He's from He's from Texas.
It's kind of been
And
that
then
way
he
for
grew,
a long time.
and then he grew here, and he grew also in Cali, and then he went out to Oregon, and he was sitting around hanging out with guys. He calls me up and he goes, "Dude, these guys here, they think everything came from Oregon." He's like sitting back and just sitting there, and he goes, "I gotta tell you, man, they're talking about all the strains, and they're just like, yeah, that was from Oregon." That's from Oregon. I was like, what? It's not from Oregon. Yeah, that's from Oregon. And they were like claiming everything. So it might be a Oregon
Yeah,
thing.
the Panama
Might
Red,
be.
Oregon.
Yeah, right.
Acapulco
Yeah.
Gold, Oregon.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What's that? He can't.
You do. Oh, and one more shout out, man. Oh, man. To James Bean, my boy at seedsherenow.com
Yeah.
has Big Island Genetics. By the way, you guys.
Well, there you go.
Because
The
he
big man
has
himself.
he had faith in me. He has faith in me, and I gotta tell you, this is the man. He really is. I love this guy. Seeds Here Now is the shit.
And he's bringing me a new drop today,
Dude.
so I'm getting the stuff that we're
New
No,
drop
for
today.
real.
Yeah.
He's the real deal, man.
Getting the-
That's why, like, who sells your seeds? You haven't told anybody who sells your seeds.
For real. For real. For
You
real.
missed the
Thanks,
most
James.
important shout out.
Well, I mean, no, you could use your sponsored thing with Indo Expo. I'm from out here with Indo Expo.
You can talk into the mic. You can talk into the mic.
I
It's
caught
okay.
you over there in Seattle at the Hemp Fest, right? I was telling you about the Puna Butter and all that. Man.
Really can buy them. I'm like,
You're the man. And
Well,
it's
now we
going to
know
be a good
anything about
segue, too, because he's going to be coming on here in a
When
minute.
you find your body, you can find
I
the
just want to make sure
seeds.
they know where they could buy them at, because you talked about them, so people want them. So
You know they're going to want them. And you can come to the expo, and I'll have some, but you can always get them at Seeds Here Now and James Bean. Always. Because he's a man. And you're going to get some giveaways. There's going to be some freebies in there when you get Big Island
and
Genetics.
definitely, by all means, I always want, if you're in Denver, come and buy them from the breeders. Like, those are the guys, they're going to be able to tell you so much more than I ever would. I just recite stuff I learned from them, and so buy them from those guys at the Indo Expo. Buy them when they're in your town.
Thank you.
The other 9 months when they're not, you can
got
hit them
it.
up and they're on my site. And
You
we
know
do
it.
for you, and we guarantee everything. But definitely, when they come through your town, try to make it a point to go out and see the guys. They will always be cheaper than me.
Appreciate that, man.
Their packs are always cheaper, and they know shit that I just won't. I can't
I
grow
get
all
capped
1,200
up.
strains. You know what I mean? I don't know it all. So
Thanks, James.
Totally.
You're the man. Hey, can I give a shout out? Can I give a shout out to a strain? My strain?
Sure.
Okay, the strain I'm shouting out is the Blood Kush. Blood Kush is a Hawaiian
Kush.
sativa blood strain.
Yeah, is it really bleed though? Is it a blood?
Well, about 1 in 100. Not very. Okay. Yeah. I got.
Blood
yeah.
Kush.
Yeah. When you pick the stem, the petiole, it'll bleed. It looks like real blood. I swear to God. We got pictures of it. Anyway, and then we crossed that with the Kush, which is actually a cutting that went around. It's called fat leaf because the Hawaiians keep shit real simple. It's you get the fat leaf one? Yeah, look at the fat leaf one. Anyway, somebody told me this. It's the OG or something like that. I don't know. I thought it was a widow skunk. I'm not too sure. Nice indica. Cross those together, and we got the Blood Kush, and it makes some amazing flavors. So I've heard of gardenias and plumerias, and really nice stuff. And we'll have specials on that, and we got lots of them for everybody. There you
Nice.
go. Blood Kush.
Blood Kush.
So 1 in 100, you're saying about average? Maybe.
Yeah.
If
Maybe.
you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. More like 1 in 1,000.
Yeah, you know.
10,000?
Are you feeling lucky?
Million.
It happened enough that I could pick off, one and get one to bleed, and I got a picture of it. It's on Big Island Genetics. If you go to the Facebook page, check us out over there. You can see it for
Now,
yourself.
did any of the moms or dads or any of those ones bleed themselves, or was it just something that was already in the line and you kind of knew it?
No, it's from the stuff that I was using that I actually picked the stem and show you the bleeding.
The using or the seeds? I'm just saying, like from the actual donor plants, though.
Right, from the one donor plant.
The
male.
Yo, guys. So
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah.
that's actually a great feature to look
yeah.
for because
It
it's
is.
something that's trackable
Yep.
instead of being like this version and that version, which happens. I mean, there's always a lot of Vulcan Death Grip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one is you want?
Number 41.
Right. Vulcan Death Grip number 41.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you still narrowed it down, but now you actually know. Like the 3 is more happy for everybody. I think it wasn't that
Yeah.
the one? Yeah. See, I remember. I'm starting to get to know it. And so in the end, you may end up with the ABCD versions that actually are good because
The rocket ship.
there's so many flavors, and some are just
the
better.
functional.
Oh, the functional. Which one's the
I do
functional?
like the
That's
functional.
kind of the functional one. The number
I like
one.
that. That's good. That was good.
See,
Smooth.
one
Definitely
extra
happy with that.
functional.
Yeah.
Extra functional.
This one's kind of like a rocket ship with a reset computer.
Really?
Yeah, you kind of you're aiming for the moon, but then when you blast off, you might end up at Jupiter or Mars.
Oh, you never really know exactly.
Yeah, a lot of motivation, but it's not very focused.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Like where you're trying to put the milk away in like the dishes cupboard or something.
I've done that. I lost it. I opened it up and where the cereal was.
You're real handy, but it's
Yeah,
It's really
I like
touch
that.
and go. Touch
yeah.
and go.
That's my kind of smoke.
Yeah.
So James,
what?
how many people we got?
We ready?
3? 3 actual people? All right.
Switch it out.
Switch it.
I'll leave these guys for you guys.
Natural hemp
All right, man.
extracts.
I'll
.com.
I'm gonna take
I'll
off
take
the
that with
headphones.
me and refill this for you.
Oh, for sure.
I'll turn down the mics and we'll do the halftime switch here, except for yours there, Adam.
Yeah, man. Just mine. Yeah, switch over music. Is this your switch over music? Yeah,
I don't have no switch over
Come
music.
on, you should have switch over music.
I'll have to start making some stuff for the stuff like
Once
that.
these guys come in, yeah, you can sit here, James over here, and then the other 2 guys. What's going on right now? Who's calling in?
Some wipes you can use.
720-310.
Don't you know the number by now, James? It's 720-310-8237. Adam Dunn Show. Someone's calling in. Who do you have calling in who can't make it? Somebody can't make it. Oh, thank you. And the dirty napkins. Hey, KTI, can I have a water, please? Thank you. Yeah, look at that. Wiedwerks water.
Yeah, Wiedwerks.
Wiedwerks. We are here at Wiedwerks Studio. Yeah. Yeah, we are here. It's a this is the best collaboration ever from Adam Dunn Show as far as like quality of space. So we do appreciate it. The guys at Wiedwerks.com, they do CBD pens. You can check them out. They have these starter kits that are super dope. Very classy. Stuff you can give to your mom. All right, we have a caller now. Who's that? Who is it? James? Huh? Oh, Chris. Cool. Very nice. Very nice. We have Chris. Hello, Chris.
What's up? How are you, Adam?
I'm good. How's Mayhem over there?
It's going good. It's calm before the storm.
Yeah, I dumped off my skeleton of my stuff and had to kick out a bunch of people that were sitting in my booth. You know, the classic. Get out of my booth, man. This is my space. I already had to fight for space down there. Like,
just want you to know
like
I'm
Mad
rocking,
Max.
I'm rocking full Indo Expo right now.
Bro, you're like doubled down. You're like,
I'm just,
how many you got? Like 5?
I got six. I got 6 passes.
6 passes on them right now. I got 2, but they're not on me because you know.
I'm rocking like all the passes you gave me earlier today, Chris. Just by myself.
That's how he does. That's how he does. So this one's a big one, right? You guys are sold out basically on certain levels.
It's
right?
their 10th show.
Or you're totally sold out now.
It's our 10th show too. We're celebrating our 10th event.
Yeah. I got an ironic one for you, and I'll just say it on the air and make it more funny. Hazel called me and said she doesn't have a ticket.
To the Indo Expo?
Hazel needs a ticket, man.
You want to give Hazel a ticket?
You want to give Hazel a ticket?
I got Hazel covered.
Oh, good.
See, you're always taking the higher road, if you will. So.
Yeah. I was like,
nice job.
What? She texted me, and I was all like, "Woo, you don't have a ticket."
Ask her if you can use the marketing media.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. It's pretty tight these days. No, but you guys are doing real good. You guys are huge. Everybody's like.
Everybody's in town. I mean, everybody's there. I saw Swamp Boys were there. I saw JJ was there. Money Mike.
Well, I like it because it's become like a seed spot where there's really no other things that go on that do that. You know, this is the one and only like seed swap that actually works. That actually seems to get attention and traction, and people are getting into it. And
I kind of want to call it like the Emerald Cup for Denver, if you will, just because it's still in that after harvest pre-plant season, and so you've harvested, you've got this year's crop out. Now you need to go buy your next year's crop, your next year's seeds, and so this kind of falls right into that niche, right in that time period.
Well, especially in the hemp world, I think the hemp thing is awesome.
The hemp thing is huge.
You guys are going to start. That's going to start.
Yeah, we have a new addition to the show. We have a full-on hemp pavilion, hemp fashion show, and the National Hemp Awards, and they're doing a hemp dinner, and it's pretty cool. The section looks great too. I was just over there checking it out.
Yeah, I guess you got my guys Nature's Tonics coming in from Maine and a bunch of his CBD stuff. So I know he just recently had a CBD strain about 19%. So yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. So it should be some very interesting stuff, and that's kind of grown a lot too. I remember first couple of shows the hemp stuff was just like it was a hallway. Mm-hmm. It was a smaller hallway, and you went down. And
it got, and it was funny too because it got bigger, and then it actually kind of. Definitely outgrew itself real quickly, which is why it's getting its new spot. Amazing. It's covering all bases. Who's that? You got radios coming after you?
Yeah, sorry, walkies everywhere.
Yes. Walkies. Stephanie, tell Stephanie to holler back.
Top flight security over here.
You're getting thrown out of your own show?
Well, he was smoking yesterday on the air. I heard
our own podcast deal right here in the staff room.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
So we've got a launch party tonight at Cultivated. No.
Synergy, yeah.
Synergy. I was going to fill that for you, too.
We got we have a really fun after party tomorrow night. No, we can't talk about our after party either.
Not tomorrow night.
You're coaching me on what I'm allowed to say.
I'm not allowed to say any of what you said, basically. So that's all.
So it's not happening. The after party tomorrow
Unless
night.
we got
Tonight.
tickets
Not happening.
No after parties. The place sucks.
It won't be a cultivated
There's
synergy.
no parties, guys.
No,
Forget it.
parties are over. I got you.
Yeah, they won't be at the
That's what
Sheraton.
he's saying. Don't announce to the world that we have a huge party tomorrow night. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
I thought
that's
it was
cool.
just
That was a total test. That was a test to see if you were listening.
Yeah, just
whatever you heard
We
was
don't
fake.
have parties here at all.
No. This. You guys are corporate now. So.
No, but they're not though. But they're not sellout corporate. They're still grassroots.
Oh no,
They're still cool people.
You haven't been bought by High Times yet.
No, they haven't been bought by High Times.
No, that's coming around the corner.
Spanibus.
When is that?
Spanibus
just got bought
by High Times.
So
how much shit is that?
When are you guys getting bought? Can we just get this on the air now so we can like go back in time and be like, you said never. You said never
sell to them.
You said you never sell, and you're like, yeah, I kind of did, but.
And I know that silent partner at the Denver Mart likes the High Times guys.
Oh,
they brought him some money.
Is it happening this year? Is it happening this year or next year?
Don't sell out. Don't sell out, Chris.
Tell you guys.
Hold out for the big bucks.
There's only going to be a few left. I mean,
we're holding out.
Cool. So you guys open time?
We're holding out. We got that.
Well, you're holding out. I don't know about the rest of the guys. It sounds like you're holding out.
And it's like your favorite guy, when the Gavita guy said, just add another zero. Add another zero. How many zeros does you have to add before I say no?
Oh.
So, but what time do you guys open tomorrow?
We open at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock tomorrow. 10 to 6 tomorrow.
What?
And 11 to 5 on Sunday.
Cool.
7?
Saturday is just industry day,
10 to 6.
So everyone has to be pre-registered. Sunday's open to the public. Tickets available here at the door.
Yeah, so Adam, sorry, Chris, you didn't hear that part. But so Adam just found out that he's actually speaking at 7 a.m. That's when you got him operating. So he thought you said 7.
I thought you said 7. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I think we put him down for 7.
I know.
So he's here for 10.
Yeah, exactly. That way, make sure he's there for 10.
Oof, I was already like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
So we work with his schedule, kind of thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, we love having you, Adam, moderating the seminar. That's awesome. It's always good to keep people talking. So.
Well, yeah.
Or he just
I just talk.
He just talks.
Great.
Just let him go.
I kind of like just take over. No, it's all right. I keep it short and sweet at these things. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's like it's improving every time as far as the halls and stuff. I mean,
and this year Mike Marquez ran me through the new halls. They look even better.
They look even better.
They've rearranged them more so there won't be the crowd. You can't peek in. It's not none of that kind of stuff.
Oh.
We have the seats here now. Of course, the ones you'll be moderating. We have Duke Diamond and Skunk VA from Lucky Dog Seeds. They're going to be hosting a panel on organic growing versus hydroponic growing on a commercial level. Duke will take the organic side. Jason will take, or Skunk VA will take the hydroponic side. So that should be interesting. And then something that I pushed Mike Marquez on, and in fact, we're not supposed to say the segue, but God, I'm good.
You're not supposed to say it, but you're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Like, you're so good.
Like, get ready for it. Here it comes.
Okay. Here.
So, on the second panel we're going to have, we brought in, actually, I would talk to Mike Marquez, and I haven't been familiar with a lot of tissue culture people around this area. Like, I haven't really talked to him about it. I've seen here and there, but nobody's really ever tackled it in Colorado that I know of or that I've seen or heard as much as I've dealt with in California. And I've dealt with my guy Justin there, Justin Gibbons, that runs DSG Labs. In fact, they're here. They can come on up.
Oh, they can come up. They see the segue. That was official.
Was it not good? It was great.
Awesome, bro.
Anyhow, those guys have schooled me on just dirty plants, how they can clean things up, the importance of clean clones. Of course, me, I'm a no clone zone guy, unless it's certified and it comes guaranteed clean. And once you break it down in tissue culture, and you're starting with a healthy, vigorous plant from day one every time. And that's just awesome. And especially I think when you get into bigger, large scale operations, 1,000 plants or 1,000 lights, everything you bring in has to be clean. If you bring in a bug or if you bring something in that ruins your whole room, that's how expensive is that? How much is that going to cost you?
The other side of it is industrial sabotage. What if somebody comes in and is mad at you and destroys all your genetic stock?
Right.
Having that backup is key.
Yep.
Especially if, you know,
And like,
you're jumping phase.
and it's kind of like I tell Adam, instead of hauling that sage around for 17 years you've had that mother, you could have put her in a tissue culture and just held her there and came back to her whenever you needed it. And it's the oldest story in males. Everybody always loses their males, but if they were able to save their males, then they would never be the males, or never be the pre-story of that, or this. The greenhouse lost the male for that, so it changed for this.
Right.
So,
well, let's officially welcome everybody.
All right.
Now they're actually here. Humans. They've materialized. None of them were in green, so they'll show up as people. That was the funny part. Is you see how
I did see his neck was in concrete.
Yeah, he
Aaron's.
he was
I didn't know why he was buried up to concrete, but his neck was in concrete.
He was lost in the shuffle. Yeah, exactly.
So
welcome to the show. So now proper introductions, because he's the worst.
Yeah.
He's like, they're coming. Nobody's coming. He's coming. That's coming. Okay, so
People.
I did see a blurb, which I read.
I submitted a blurb.
I saw a blurb, but give us
a rundown of how you do, what you do, how you do.
Exactly who you are and where you're from, and then we'll just kind of move from there, and we'll go.
DSG Labs on Instagram is my lab name. I've been growing for a long time, and in California, as you know, all the permitting stuff, becoming legal, doing big growths.
Sure.
Number one thing I was concerned about is bringing in genetics and making sure they're clean, quarantining them. And I can't tell you how many genetics I've received that were not clean.
Of course, yeah.
So
I would think the weird thing is now that we're at the reality check of a lot of stuff, I consider everything like it's got to be dirty. You know what I mean? It's like it's got to be.
Yeah.
Just because I know how people live.
It's nature of the beast. I mean, it's nature of the beast as well. Things happen. I mean, especially if you're holding stuff for 10, 12 years, something might have happened in those 10, 12 years where you might have got this or that.
Yeah, and you got friends holding on to them, and you never know. So there's all kinds of stuff, you know. And bringing those genetics in, I kind of learned that got to clean them. And so I looked into how to clean them, and tissue culture came about. And, it was really a couple of years ago, I did some Bill Graham kits, those home kits, and it didn't, wasn't quite right.
Right, contaminated, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the right setting. And so finally I pulled the trigger and built a real lab and, went for it and had to really learn how to do all this. So it was pretty fun, pretty interesting.
And how successful were you?
I'm pretty successful so far as cleaning goes.
Yeah.
Still proving some major scalability.
And maybe let's start here for easy terms of maybe say myself or other people, but what is tissue culture? What do you mean breaking it down and cleaning it? Are you washing with soap? I mean, I always say I know the answers, but you know what I mean. Like to break it down to some of our listeners, what is tissue culture? What's the basis of it? What is it doing? What's my benefit? How do my
tissue culture? It's literally culturing cells in a sterile environment, aseptic conditions.
Now you got lost. You let him take the lead. It's going straight into the science.
Like into a petri dish. Like what you're talking about.
No, you don't have to. We actually, most of the time can do nodal propagation depending on what's wrong with the plant, and that's just taking like an apex, almost just a small version of a regular clone that you would take, introducing it into a sterile environment, cleaning it first, and
cleaning it means.
There's a few different things, but mainly bleach and some soap.
So can you just do it from, for instance, like it might take a little longer, but would it be, because I feel like you could get away with making more, like not quite, crazy numbers, like 10,000 off of a leaf, but like make a lot off of a small amount. Can you just take the callus part of when it's just starting to root, and it pops that little top, can you like literally skim it off like if it was like a pimple or something, take that and grow that, because it'd be like kind of like ready to roll?
I mean, in theory, but it's also new.
So are you talking about kind of just taking those first apexes from like a fresh seedling?
Yeah.
Like those are great material for TC.
Yeah.
And let's introduce Joseph too.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Exactly, the guy. Sorry. Yeah, exactly, the guy got left out in the dust.
No, I got stuck in the corner.
Said, "Yeah, go ahead." He's like, "Yeah."
We started talking about
whatever.
Tissue culture. Let's see, where do I start? My name's Joseph Ramahi, Joe Ramahi, PhD. I've got a PhD in plant molecular biology from UC Davis.
Okay.
I was a neuroscientist for a brief minute, but then came back to plants because of legalization and like my passion for cannabis.
Nice.
I was doing tissue culture. I was the R&D. I was the tissue culture R&D manager at Dark Heart Nursery in Oakland for 2 years.
Nice.
And in the last few months, I've started my own company called Ploidy LLC, based out of Berkeley, where we used cannabis and hemp tissue culture as a tool for manipulating the chromosome number of the plants. But that's like, we can get down to that in a minute. Let's get down to like start like basically about tissue cultures, like what Justin was talking about. Currently in cannabis right now, people are doing traditional nodal propagation, which are basically you're taking meristem tips of plants, like down to a centimeter. There's pure meristem culture, which requires heavier dissection.
Once again, I know the answer, but what's a meristem tip?
So a meristem is basically just, it's the stem cell niche of a plant. It's where all of the growing tip is.
And so each plant will only have one.
So there's one apical meristem, but then you have axillary and side meristems. So, like both of these meristem tips or shoot tips, or just we can talk about them as just shoots, are good input material for tissue culture. There's other forms of tissue culture out there. Tissue culture is kind of like this wide, encompassing phrase in science, where it can be dissociated cells. You can take it's called somatic embryogenesis. It's basically taking a non-reproductive cell and turning it into a brand new plant. They do this in, say, coffee, in carrots. And this is a great way for turning millions of cells into millions of new plants. However, somatic embryogenesis is a kind of a rare occurrence. Well, I don't want to, it is. It's like, it's not useful in every type of plant out there. It doesn't exist in every plant out there. So no one, or at least no one publicly, has a somatic embryogenesis running in cannabis. So we're focusing mainly on nodal propagation in cannabis.
Nodal propagation in cannabis.
So, which kind of limits numbers to the number of nodes that any plant had.
Right.
That's
the most you can make decimate is we're decimated of.
Sure.
Yeah, I've heard it from one of my other guys, a mutual of ours, that you take this and decimate it, then you can make all these others from it.
So the current form of kind of tissue culture is kind of this idea of thinking about a mom. Like a mother plant works. You take one mother plant and you turn her into multiple plants by cutting her down. So basically in tissue culture, that's the kind of multiplication that we talk about. Everyone in tissue culture talks about multiplication rates. It's like, how many plants can I turn one plant into? So people talk about like 2x, 4x. In non-cannabis plants, people talk about 10, 50x. In ferns, for example, you can have really high multiplication. I think increasing multiplication has been kind of the biggest challenge, challenge and kind of focus on cannabis micropropagation right now, which is kind of a tissue culture system, which sole purpose is to pump out a large number of plants.
To replace traditional cloning.
I think that's what I've seen, like the first tissue culture lab here in Colorado that like got the first license when they first opened it up for the hemp, because they were like, oh, now we can do this, because they saw that the numbers would be worth it.
Yeah.
So the guy who was pushing the Harlequin around here was like a energy expert and really, understands the language and knows how to sort of maneuver with these people. Brought it all to them, and it was just like, yeah, they couldn't. Their failure rate was so high that they're shooting for trying to produce 1 million, and they got 50,000. You know what I mean? And then everything was like failure. Like it was just a big waste of time and energy and all that like extra. And I've kind of seen that a lot with just how slow shit goes compared to other stuff. Like I'm like, it's weird. It seems like it resists it a lot. Like it doesn't seem like it's the easiest one out of the batch to, like ferns and shit. Like, wow, that's easy. You know what I mean? Or like pine trees or whatever.
Exactly.
Those things are like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do this. You know what I mean? They want to. And see, I don't know. I'm not an expert, so I'm kind of like always had that vibe where when I heard tissue culture, it was almost like the guarantee meant that they didn't know what they were fucking talking about, because they'd be like, dude, tissue culture. And I'd be like, are you kidding me right now? So it's always good to see people who actually make the rubber meet the road kind of deal and actually see things happen. I think the best right now is exactly what you were saying earlier. Cleaning and storing is probably the smartest way to look at it. Not get millions of them and try to compete with other people. Because right now, I think the smartest thing to do in that way is just to get good guys who know how to keep shit clean and produce a lot of moms.
And protect your library.
You know.
I mean.
Yeah, I mean, and to protect your library. Yeah, of course, that's a great other reason. If and only if you can, retrieve it all and get it all back.
How many cuts were lost in the Santa Rosa fire?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? How many beans were lost in those when those guys got down? They didn't have time to give cuts to their buddies, and if they held something or they held a mail or some extra beans, those are gone. They did not have time. If Subcool could only go grab his wax,
How many like how much would it cost to store 50 strains for 10 years or something like that, 20 years?
That's a number.
I'm still working on it, trying to really get the numbers down, because trying to be fair and trying to make sure that it's still a viable business plan to
Because it's not easy, correct? It takes 4 months to get the tissue culture going. Or
truthfully, you have to identify any and all pathogens and a route of cleaning them and ensuring they're clean before storing them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the key. And once you are satisfied and think that they're clean, then storing them, it's not that difficult to store them long term. But the overhead is kind of where people are finding that tissue culture isn't just this thing you can go do. It's
we have to be.
Lab.
You have to be consistent.
It's a lab.
It's a lab. It's word science.
And you have employees, and you have equipment, and
not cheap equipment, scientific.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like having a Ferrari mechanic on duty 24/7, like waiting to fix your shit, like pretty much, and like having them on.
TC specialists are definitely specialists, but I'd like to say that it's simple, but it's not easy. It's very straightforward, and I've seen a lot of people walk in with kind of limited experience, and I'm talking to like my techs that I've had the pleasure of working with, and I've seen people with very limited tissue culture experience become very skilled, and over the course of 6 to 12 months. So it's possible. I mean, it's not magic. It's it's just like.
Are those people working with cannabis, or those people working with everything?
Those people were working with cannabis.
Okay, good. So people coming in, becoming pretty proficient with it, getting decent numbers as far as like percentages, not numbers and numbers, but like percentage numbers of success.
Yeah, because when you were talking about losses, there are plenty of steps during TC where if you make little mistakes over and over again, you can have massive losses down the line. They amplify. For instance, like contamination. I know a lot of, like you mentioned it very earlier about like a lot of people I understood had problems with Bill Graham's kits and I like Bill Graham's kits, but I think a lot of it is people need to learn how to sterilize their hands and kind of maintain a sterile workstation.
Wash your hands? Well,
I know, right? Sterile?
Soil on my hands? Well.
So there's sugar in the mix to explain why contamination is such an issue. And that sugar, anything that gets in there, any kind of contamination, just blows up instantly.
Yeah, and people a lot of times are trying to do, grow weed and make, have a lab next to it, or it's like you kind of really need a standalone, dust-free, kind of know what you're doing. I mean, it's obvious you need to have like pretty good protocol to do it all, and I've seen, especially with like mushrooms and stuff, it was always like one guy could do it, and then he would be able to give everybody the next step, and then they could do it. If that guy couldn't, but if without him, they'd fuck it all up. They would all would have fucked it up. You know what I mean? Because there's only one guy who actually is clean enough to keep his shit, which is kind of like cloning in general. Regular clones too. Everyone goes back to one guy and says, "Hey, can I get that cut off of you again?" And you're like, "What? You lost it again?" Like, yeah, whatever. And like without that one guy who actually keeps his shit clean and kind of is cool enough to give it back to everybody, everybody's like out, you know what I mean? So tissue culture would replace that guy, but at the same time,
you wouldn't have to have Big Dummy in that apartment cutting clones.
What? Big Dummy?
Remember Big Dummy cutting in an apartment to keep their library alive? You'd have to cut like 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really. I mean, he was
keeping the library alive.
It wasn't Big Dummy as much as it was Terry and those guys, which even was worse. So.
Right, but I mean, they're living in an apartment, just basically cutting clones every
sure.
day to get. As soon as they get this high, get them all cut more.
Oh, for sure.
Just to keep the library for was it green? It wasn't greenhouse. It was.
He was keeping greenhouse. It wasn't me. He was
so instead of having that, you could have them. Yeah, you could have them in there and ready to go at your disposal.
Yeah,
not have to worry
I mean,
about
I guess
guys.
the thing would be to see the actual results coming back and like being like, all right, I can trust that I can actually get that shit back. Because what was the problem back? And this is also, again, 20 fucking years ago. So obviously things. I hope things evolved. What's the part that makes it now? Because back in the day, the biggest problem was getting past that like callous kind of weird zone where it was like you could tell it was weed, but it wasn't really popping out of that zone, and then they could never get it to the next step. What's the newest improvements in that, or what is there? Just technique, or?
I mean, as far as advancing cannabis tissue culture, and I mean, there's different methods, right, to try to produce plants. And I believe you're talking about callus cells, the group of cluster cells. So that's what we were talking about earlier, somatic embryogenesis.
Okay.
And being able to grow a plant from that and have the phenotype, have no variation in the genetics, epigenetics, from that is something you got to be really careful of, because you can screw that up. But also doing it.
What would come out? It'd be so weird. Like what?
Funky looking plants.
Yeah.
Like I've dealt with callus shoots before, and they never pass my quality metrics. They always end up getting kind of like pushed aside, can't multiply further, or have like very like weird morphologies on their leaves. So like I haven't had yet to find or yet to had a positive experience with kind of callus derived cannabis shoots.
So that's probably the problem, is that people were just going down the wrong avenue down that one. So what is the most successful way?
Nodal propagation currently.
This nodal and meristem propagation that we were talking
And
about.
how many were you getting per plant, you said? Just all the tips, or is it like pretty much all of the tips can be?
So every cultivar is different, right? So to give you a little background on it, when you pull a cultivar into the lab, first you have to clean it, and you have to get an optimized recipe to get successful growth out of it.
Is that those aggregate gels?
Yeah, and there's different recipes that you have to concoct. So making sure it's clean, then concocting a recipe, and then from there trying to really optimize that recipe. And every cultivar grows different in culture, just like it does out of culture. Some are excellent in culture, and some just do not like it, and they're a pain, and they don't want to cooperate. So,
and once these once they're cleaned, they're back to square one, if you would. Like they have all the hybrid vigor back. They're going to be firing on all cylinders. They're going to come into your grow. They're going to be healthy, fast, vigorous. Not going to have any pathogens or any of that kind of stuff with us. So I think that's also you kind of bring hybrid vigor back if you would.
And you're using juvenile tissue as well. So it's a big difference.
Yep. So I think it definitely plays a part. And anything that, we've got a couple licensing deals that we're going to work with, a couple of my breeders, and, sell the actual strains to a couple companies. But, before, that's how I met Justin before, I would put I call them my breeders, in that situation. Anything that would come from us or with our name on it has to be clean. Like I can't have a guy buy 1,000 cuts of exotics, cookies and cream, and it come with bugs on it. So that's going to give exotic a bad name, it's going to give me a bad name, and it's going to give them a bad name. We just can't have it. So that, when I look down into it, I figure out the best way that you can get that out there to the masses and guarantee that cleanliness or guarantee that safety or that reputation is with tissue culture. And so I refuse to work with anybody outside that doesn't have some type of lab or tissue culture hooked up to them, because I think it's just... especially when you get to talking about some of these bigger grows, like you got 2,000 lights in a facility. You bring something in there, I don't know this, I'm not a lawyer, but could they possibly hold the guy who sold them the clones liable? Because you just introduced me all this stuff. You sold it to me as a product, and now it's failure. And then, it's...
So, at least in California, I've had a lot of talks with CDFA and kind of what they're planning, and nurseries themselves are going to start to become highly regulated. It's actually be one of the harder licenses to hold and keep, because you are going to be liable for,
Right.
ruining someone's
crop, and it's not just a crop, but 2,000 light operation.
Yep.
And what I see, people I hear about all the time, but they ended up fired the growers and they fired all the good helpers because they knew everything and they already had their cuts, and so now they've got like the B team working. The B team's not really on it, and so they're not going to catch things, and then you ruin the whole crop. And it's like, well, how much did firing the A team really save you now when you just tossed 2 rooms? You know what I mean? So, so it's always best to start with healthy, clean cuts. I've had a thing, and I'll let it go, and I'll take my 10% for whoever does it. But one of the competitions, if I was ever to do, a growing or a contest or whatnot, everybody would start with the same nodal propagation tissue culture. Everybody starts with the same thing. That way, it's not a phenotype, it's not a cut, it's not a clone, it's not this, it's not that. It doesn't have pathogens. Because the best sift maker in the world can only make the best sift he's given. Like it's like I tell people, you could be the best grower in the world, but if your plant only has the genetic potential of reaching 17%, if you hit everything on point all the way through, you might get 16, 17%. But if your plant has a genetic potential of 20 or 25 or 30 even, and you fucked up here and there, got 89 score, got to do this, got to do that, you'd still walk out of there with a 22, 23, not bad. You know what I mean? But you're only going to be as good as the genetic potential in your plant. And so I think it's crucial. So
unless you're in Hawaii, bro.
Well, they don't. Hawaii's weird. Besides
then
the
all of
great
a sudden
sun,
weeds
they have
be
no
like
soil.
50%.
That's a volcano that created soil.
You know,
that's lava that made soil.
Yeah.
Over time. So it's kind of odd, but good stuff. That's we've had a good luck with the Big Island genetics, and of course another shout out to Gray Skull just because he lives on that big island, and it's not such a big island; it's a small island. They're a good community over there. But Gray Skull, I love that guy, one of the nicest guys. Him and Joey 808, great stuff. Me and Dunn.
I think they both were the last guys to ADSI when they entered too. So something about Hawaii time.
Yeah, everybody has their own time. Mexican time, Hawaii time, Tahoe time. But those guys are great. We went to their competition last year, their little ahi tournament.
When's that going down again? Is it?
I don't know. Hopefully again, but we might be in Spain. So if High Times bought Cannabis, then we'd be supporting High Times.
High Time's gonna buy everybody, dude. They tried to buy me, bro.
No, did they?
Kind of secretly in the backside.
How much? Take it.
No, they didn't really offer me anything. They wanted me for free. They were like, how do I get them for free?
Yeah, no.
There's a few growers I know too that they approached and wanted some percentage in their companies.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Corporations getting bought out.
So
on tomorrow's talk, or Sunday's talk with Joe, what is the difference? So tissue culture, and then what are you mainly specialized in? Are you?
I was just going there, bro.
I was helping you.
Bro, you were not helping.
I was segueing.
Not even helping at all.
Segue, like a little segue?
Reverse segue.
So basically using tissue culture as a tool to change the number of chromosomes in plants. Like I have my first populations going right now that I'm developing to basically double the chromosome number by basically using you just have these treatments that you have on shoot on these meristem tips, and then you basically can create, by disrupting cell division, you can actually create polyploid cannabis that has more than the normal diploid 2N copy of plants. So ultimately, what I'm working towards is seeing the sterility of triploids. Like if I can make, ultimately I'm trying to develop seedless cultivars, plants that can't be sterilized. And this is going to take, the next year of development. But basically, once you start manipulating chromosome number, you can start doing crosses. And for instance, those polyploids, those tetraploids that I'm making, make crosses to turn those tetraploids with 4 copies of the chromosome into triploids with 3 copies of the chromosome. And especially like working in both hemp and on both hemp and cannabis, I'm really trying to develop cultivars that can't be pollinated.
On that note, so most of Southern Oregon lost its crop to over hemp pollination this last year. All their outdoor crop got seeded by.
So give me a couple of years, but I'm focused ploidy on working on these kinds of these kinds of programs. And also, I came from kind of a plant breeding or a forced plant breeding PhD lab where we worked on haploid plants as well. and generating haploid plants. And what's really nice about making doubled haploid is those are instants are basically making these are advanced breeding technologies for basically making true breeding seed faster. So normally when we talk about you have like an awesome F1 cross, what do? You back cross her back to the parent that you're selecting for. How many back crosses do traditional cultivars need? Like in cannabis, I keep hearing,
6.
I hear numbers as low as 3 or 4,
Some
but
people.
really, exactly, but really you want 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Before you get something stable enough.
Right.
So
we do have a friend that has an S27.
okay, so once you get into selfing, that's super cool too.
Yeah, it was S36.
I don't know. It's 27 or 36.
I think it was
depends.
S36.
We talked to him more than once. So
I was like,
it
what? I was
erases.
like, no, dude, you're not doing anybody a favor right now. It's like the dog with the one eye that's like, kill me now.
He finally came up to Adam one day. He was like, I've been doing it all wrong, huh? And it was like, well,
It's like
don't really
S36
sell,
is not going anywhere. That's our technique.
Segue. And to your, which I was just going through the chat room thing. When you talked about polyploids on there, in the chat room is a guy by the name of Greg McAllister. If I see you, I shout you out, sir. I respect you. Greg McAllister is the one who we can thank the Northern Lights 11 for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all through 11. He has all the paperwork on him. He has the notes. He did it when he came back from.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he came back from the Army and did it for PTSD. Has the notes on each one and how they were different. He lives in Hawaii now. He's about 90, but he's
back to Hawaii, bro.
Yep, and now he's working
he's on
on
the Big Island too, isn't he?
Yep, and he's working on stuff
Holy
that's mold
shit.
and mildew resistant and pest resistant.
No.
But a lot of people don't really know who he is. Yeah, I see him in the room sometimes, and he mentioned polyploid about 5 minutes before you did. He was talking about it, so he's queued on. But yeah, the guy, good dude, and hopefully we'll get him on the show sometime soon.
Well, funny enough is that, like I always told people back in the day, like I was always looking for any mutation of any sort, just because I was like, well, if it's a mutation, it means it might be the secret,
The next
key,
new thing.
Yeah. So then I'd always like keep all the tetraploids or I keep the naturally occurring,
which there are.
Yeah, exactly. And I get the naturally occurring, weird, just all these weird mutations. I'd be like, that looks like 2 plants just mashed together. What's up with that? You know what I mean? Like, all right. And I'd try to cross that with something else, and it would always never do what it did. You know what I mean? It was like very hit and miss. I mean, I might see the weird leaf mutations because I had them where they would look like they were webbed, and then I had them where they were, you get the more seeds you pop, the more mutations you're going to see, of course. But
see, and that's what's cool about having the breeder panels is I heard that you keep polyploids and you covet those things. You're like, oh, what are these weird things? To where like OD Diesel stomps it, gets the hell away from him as far as fast as he can.
Stomps it originally.
Just doesn't want nothing to do with it. But to where Adam's like, oh, let's see what it does. Hey, this could be something cool. So that's why each breeder's different. So.
And I've had waste of time most of the time. 90% of the time is a waste of time. But it's looking for that.
It takes that one.
And even at that 1%, that in the end was really a waste of time. Like I don't think I kept any of them into my breeding program because it was hard to keep moms to get real callousy and weird and floppy and leaves. Just seems like all of them did it because they were not designed for speed. You know what I mean? They're built for fucking. They were cool and weird and twisted and had their own thing going on, but they weren't necessarily like desirable in any. For like a couple of them, I had like there were hangers where they would like. Almost like you want to hang them up like a fucking spider plant or something like that. Like that's how they would want to grow. Like definitely don't want to get them off the ground, kind of flopping over. But in a way, I liked them. I was like, these are kind of cool. But the branches would grow like this, and they would break real easy. Like as you just go by, you're like, oh well, fuck, this thing's. And so to make a clone was really hard because they were always like trying to put a cheese curl in the fucking rock wool. You know what I mean? So you'd be like, turn them, and you try to like get them straight up, whatever. But I got that from Oregon actually too. That plant came from Oregon. See, Oregon once again. So that guy's just rolling through like, this is the shit right here, And it was like I got snow bud from them, and I got that, and I got something else. And the snow bud I kept, and I used the snow bud at the end. But those ones I was thinking I was going to use them because they were so weird. But again, that was. I also wanted to do a freak show at one point. I wanted like the
you do
the 50-50. You get the ones that are like the half. Right down the middle, bleached out on one side and fucking green on the other. You get those. Those are common, ish enough. A lot of chems got that weirdness, and chem crosses get a little weird mutations like that from them. So what happens with those kind of problems when you clean them up? Do they, like the variegation or that kind of stuff, is that still just make it through? Or is that actually, is that a thing that is just forever? Like,
I'm still picking up on it. I mean, there's a lot of research to do still.
So some things I've seen that had like natural variegation, going through tissue culture, still had it afterwards. Some strains, like just but there's also something that can happen during tissue culture called somoclonal variation, which is kind of like a negative genetic variation that can show up during culture that you have to kind of be on the eye for. You always want to be doing a quality check on your plants when they go through any kind of like hormone treatment and kind of this whole tissue culture process.
Right. Yeah, because it's, I mean, it's, what the hell was the name of that movie? I remember. It's like, it reminds me of this fucking movie from the 70s, Altered States. Remember Altered States? You ever seen that? You ever seen that movie? No, you should watch it. Like, it's like him going through all these like weird fucking body change. He's like dying, but he's going through these transformations, and I always think of that as like any kind of, even regular cloning is pretty dramatic on a plant.
It's pretty stressful.
Yeah, like the plant's going through fucking some crazy shit. All of a sudden, you're like, especially when you follow the process where it's like it's fighting and looking at some plants not. Some plants you're like, oh, this one just busts it out, not a problem. Other plants have to go through that. You have to learn how to fucking play with them. Sometimes it's fixable, other times it's not. It's just the way it is. It does what it does. So after the process, I mean, it's a heavy process, but after it goes through all that, does it, have you got enough research to realize, like, or to see if it's really, like, when you say clean, like, if it's a virus that
you have to test for it.
Okay, so then, I mean, before it goes in, you're going to test for everything you can, right? And just
especially depending on what symptoms it's showing. So I'll give you an example. I had someone drop a plant off, and it had a lot of this variegation you're talking about. And to me, it looked like TMV. But I found, honestly, what really pushed it out there is light stress, is what was specifically inducing it. So I fixed it, and then just to show cause, again, gave it some light stress, and boom, came right back. And I went as far as doing a TEM on it, transmission electron microscopy image, and it was clean from everything I could find as far as pathogen detection. I couldn't find anything that was.
So it's just. So how is it? Was it just they weren't hitting it with enough light, or they were overhitting? Overlight.
Yeah, over.
So I mean that's a classic. A lot of times where you're like, you pull it away like a foot away, and you're like, oh my god, the plant looks normal again. Like, people light stress a lot just because they think more is better, hit it harder.
And most of the time, they don't understand that the plant can only uptake so much water and nutrients, and you're going to kind of starve it. So that light, it's over photosynthesizing, and so it can't keep up.
Sure. And so before you got into, you said you were doing. So you were serious about tissue culture and things of all kinds of plants. You weren't focusing on cannabis at first, and then just.
Oh no. So when I had grown just basically research plants, this little plant called Arabidopsis in vitro for microscopy purposes. So that was kind of my experience with growing plants in a sterile environment, and I did that for during my graduate work. What brought me back to plants was actually. I worked at a lettuce startup as a chief science officer briefly, making sugar proteins in lettuce. So it kind of...
And lettuce is that a kind of thing that seems like a tissue culture dream plant? Is it, or is that like a...
Lettuce does great with like normal propagation methods.
Just let it grow, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just too easy to grow.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Cannabis was really, I wanted an in into I was looking at jobs in the cannabis industry once I moved back home in 2016, And it kind of just lined up that for me to find work with a tissue culture lab with my experience, especially now with my molecular biology background, and you have this growing list of viruses and things that you're actually checking for. So it's this interesting thing when anyone in kind of cannabis talks about clean or virus free, or like they're like, what do you mean? What did you test for?
Right.
So it ultimately, we're getting to be just like grapes or other commercial agriculture crops, where you have these certification systems where you're like, I bought this plant, it was tested for X, Y, and Z, and it came up negative on all of these things.
Sure. Well, I mean, there's going to be the ones that are going to be the most important, obviously, because that's the one that they're testing for. I mean, if you're going to do your due diligence, you're going to want to do all of them anyway, and more.
Yeah.
Even though as scary as it sounds, because it's one of those things where I'm terrified, like holding on to clones for, 25 years, but not the same clone, but clone of clone. And the thing is, it's like going to get an AIDS test after being like your whole life, and be like, oh my god, it's so many bad places, and I've picked up those clones from people that and I couldn't even go back in time and piece it all together, because some of them have been brought to me after the fact from Europe, where I'm like, I have no idea how much that's been passed around, like nasty, and it's like,
and something that was pretty popular over the last 20 years is people going all over the world and grabbing everything they can from every corner of the world, putting it all in a room together. So,
But even with that and like sordid histories, it's kind of what kind of processes do people have in place to prevent things from spreading? So how clean do people keep their grows? How clean do people keep their tools? I think these are kinds of things where we've seen things, where we all know people that kind of use, I've got one pair of Fiskars and I do everything with it. Sure. And that just can't really fly anymore.
Of course. Well, and that's the thing. It's like being working around people with food, and they don't work with, they have no idea what they're doing. You're like, oh my god, everyone's gonna be sick today. Just don't understand how it works, and cross contamination. And once you understand it, it's like you don't go against it, because you kind of know it, and it's just ingrained into you, and it becomes second nature. And you're like, whoa, that's coming into the cannabis world faster, just because people are trying to create SOPs that actually, other people can follow, where they're like, oh, okay, let's do it like this. And, you have to do it repetitive things over and over and over again, which, is literally like, oh shit, this is real work. Yeah, of course it is. What do you think? I thought this was going to be all fun, and it's not. But overall, I think the lab, having access to lab people, super important. Keeps people on there, going to be the next wave of everything, really, is going to all come out of lab somewhere, because of, there's so much more going on than just cannabis, even, like on the hemp side.
I think hemp side's going to be just massive.
Yeah, because you can go in any direction, I mean, it can be building materials and bonding agents and this and that, and when you start getting down to it, it's like, it's going to be interesting. That's going to be the fun. And even on the cannabis side, there'll be some, other cannabinoids that'll be more focused on, which is, I think, the next wave. But it's also going to be, the funnel's going to get tighter and tighter, because it's going to be like less and less. The more they find out, the tighter they'll grow. Oh shit, we better make that. So you almost don't want to tell them to right now. Just kind of do your thing. But what's your future for you guys, as far as what's your main focus right now, as far as the next ultimate goal, let's say, for at the moment? Is obviously
so mine is I bought a building, I have a permit to grow, and have a lab permit as well in California. So I'm really focused on getting those going heavily and consistently, and producing some really nice flower. And then on the lab side, when I like to get bored, just like to chase rabbit holes on the lab side. It's like one thing I'm really focused on in the lab is identifying new viruses that cannabis have, and creating a virus index, and then a library attached to that index of transmission. So how can that virus be transmission? Different pests that can move to
it's horrible when you see pests with pests on pests, and you're like, oh, it's so dirty. You're like, see them hanging on and then get the ride to the next spot, you know, and you're just like, all right, it's getting bad now. And you're probably on those ones or some other thing that we can't see. And then you're like, oh, fuck, it's endless now, you know?
Yeah.
And so many grows and so many people growing. We're definitely in a zone where we're going to get a lot of resistant bugs and a lot of... That's why it's better to grow. I mean, in my opinion, it's always better to fight fire with fire and work, you know, just do your IPM with live, you know, just go after everything, spend the money, be like, shit, you know, it's an extra $600, $800 or $1,000 or whatever it is. But it's a difference between having fucking...
Well, the liability. I mean, it's like...
Well, you don't want to spray
risk
bullshit.
mitigation, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, you got to make sure everything's the same thing. And a lot of times, too, I get customers that come in and want me to clean up plants, and I kind of ask them questions about their grow and kind of go, well, you could probably benefit from me coming through your grow and helping you develop some SOPs, because I want to do all this work, clean these plants, and hand them back to you, and you're just going to throw them right back in the same environment.
It's hard if someone's like, I want TC to fix my thrips problem. And then you put it back in the same place.
Yeah.
And how much you charging?
It depends. It totally depends on the
what would
size
be like
of
just even if it's one strain, like say somebody's got, I got one strain with dying.
Depending on what's wrong with it, so 400 to 500 is testing, and then about 5,000 for meristem culture if it needs it, and node propagation 1,000 to 1,500 depending on how many plants they want back.
Okay.
And I'll even offer like sometimes.
So like the whole so package deal. This is like going to get your car fixed where you're just like, whatever, bro. I have no idea what you just said. Just do it. And then you like come back like $5,000, dude. Oh man, you got jacked. Everyone starts to make you feel bad. You're like, well, if it's it's worth it when it's really worth it, and it's not worth it if you don't need it. Because if you don't need it, don't fucking waste your money, right? Because it's like getting your fucking. It's a big chunk of change. It'll be like $7,500 or at least, like let's say, just to get it back in your hands. How long is the process? 4 months or something like that, or more? 6 months?
To be truthful, it's a long, lengthy process if you do meristem culture, because first you have to optimize the recipe for that culture and make sure you don't induce somatic or somoclonal variation, right? So that
don't do it, bro.
So you got to be really careful. And some people are like, yeah, get it in, get it out, do it fast. And I'm like, that's not the right way. We need to make sure we're doing everything right. So it's going to take time. And I've had plants, I've meristem plants, and 6 months had a decent plant, and then another 4 months after that had, 500 to 1,000 in culture plants.
Gotcha.
So
okay, so a year process guaranteed to have something probably if it works.
A year's pretty safe. Yeah, I'd say a year's pretty safe.
Okay, so that's super worth it for stuff like again the stuff that I've had for so many years. And I know it's got issues because it takes longer to clone. It does this, that. Yeah. There's some things going on there which I'm like, all right, this is not. It's on its way out if it doesn't get juiced up or something at some point. So probably do some package deals with you soon. I think we're gonna have like a couple more people, and we don't want to cut it off too short. So we're only like got about 20 minutes for them too, right?
We're at 2:30.
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep.
Okay, sweet. So, you guys are going to be down at the show, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to be speaking or something like that?
We'll both be speaking on the panel about tissue culture on Sunday.
Okay, and then I think I'll be moderating that. So that's
cool.
going to be just like this, except a bunch of people. So there you go. And now we even know a few. Now I can sort of
give you a vocabulary.
Yeah, I can get into it. We can get into some things because the thing is, I believe in it, but I also don't. I never did believe in it as far as like safety issues. I was always just like, oh man, you're just better off doing what we know what we're doing. But the cleaning part of it was always kind of the most important part to me, more than any kind of like, let's try to make 5,000 units. I mean, it's great if you can do it.
Yeah, you're so micropropagation specifically.
Yeah, and I feel like if it works in any capacity and there's not like some, mix up and you're like, great, what the hell's going on? Why am I shit flowering into the little tiny? Because I always imagine, just because I've seen so many people, even just by regular cloning, do such a bad job that they literally fuck the plant. They make the plant like tweak out and like start to make these little tiny like, you're like, what the hell is that? It looks like a quarter. It looks like a branch of the plant. It doesn't even look like the plant anymore. And it's just like, I don't know what you did to this guy. And that's from regular cloning. So I can just imagine from fucking getting to the point where you actually could do some real damage at molecular level.
I've seen some weird plants come out of tissue culture if you're not careful.
Do you categorize them at all and photo them and do any kind of like, because that'd be good, like education in a weird way too, just to see how much.
It's an old phenotype I learned in grad school, just called GFU. Generally fucked up.
Nice. Yeah. You should do a whole book of it. Well, cool. So, you guys have a website or something like that people can check on?
That's my Instagram, DSG Labs.
DSG, okay.
For now.
And my website just launched, www.ploidy.com.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Perfect.
You'll spell that,
And that's
Joe?
spelled with a Y.
Ploidy.
Like such
We're
words.
we're still putting up new stuff every day. Or not every day.
You are ploiding out. Well, cool, guys. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I'll get those guys on, and we will finalize this. It'll become now officially a breeder's base. Now it makes sense, your whole background and for the whole time. And, yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
And, like I said, Sunday we'll be doing the Sunday. They're going to have the amazing panel as usual. Sometimes when we're doing the panel, they're already closing the whole place. That's been our classic, breaking the shit down and guys walking away with the walls and stuff. Okay, bye. We're not quite done yet over here. They want to get the fuck out.
Who are we grabbing?
We are grabbing Mike from Exotic, and I think James is coming through, and everybody. Yeah. Because we have a half hour left. It's perfect. Perfect segue. You don't have to come on, but you have to kind of guide. You don't have to. There's only 3. There's got to be more important people in the room than you right now.
There's many more important people in the room. I see at least 10.
No one's listening to you now.
But still, people want to see me. They were we like James being. He tells us stories. He knows knowledge.
Man, that's not exactly what I hear.
Yeah, well, you
don't. No, just kidding.
You say no.
Oh, look at him all stressed.
What are they saying? What are they saying? No, it's true.
I'm saying that they hate you, basically.
As we,
they love you, James. James, you are the sunshine.
How could you hate me if you?
No, I don't hate you.
No, anybody. I mean, as a customer, if you bought 5 seeds from me, you're pissed off they didn't grow. You call me, I send you 5 more. How
they
can
didn't
you
roll.
not like me?
No, I'm pissed off because they didn't roll themselves and then smoke themselves and then tell me how it was. That's what I want. That's the kind of weed I want.
2 of the best emails we got over the last 6 months were one person wanted to know if they had to actually water the autoflowers. Okay.
They don't need nothing, bro. They just
second
grow.
Second person wondered that he has peanut allergies and would the peanut butter breath affect him?
Oh my God.
Okay. So what I do with these fun emails, I take them, I put them in the break room, I cut them, and whenever we get frustrated, we go and look and see if these are our customers.
coming on too, right?
Yeah, Lonnie Soulfire is here actually, Dunn. So come on up. Hey, buddy. You were here on the show before.
Yeah, of course. We have to.
Remember we had to call in?
Yeah, I know.
We had to call in. We were sitting
and we
lunch.
did a panel together too, so it's fine.
We did do a panel together. That's right.
It's all good. What's this? What you're drinking?
Yeah,
Is that what you're drinking, bro?
That's a new drink of choice.
Kombucha sucks. I drink seeds. Bro.
I drink seeds.
Fucking $50,000
by the jar.
How's it going, man? Hey, man. What's up, man? Nice seeing you again.
So this is just a small amount of number of beans that Exotic probably has to go through over the course of the time.
But he has to pack those by tomorrow. He's
gonna that's all stuff he doesn't want. He wouldn't send those out.
No,
those are good, man. These are good seeds.
Oh, the pop. Oh, they're literally popping. See that?
That's how viable they are.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, they're
all right,
popping.
take it all back. Take it all back.
Yeah, man. So this is just that's some seriously sweet, clean seeds, man.
So that it'd probably take a long time.
Could I mind trick us or something?
How long would it take you to clean something like that?
I don't know. Dunn, you tell me.
I would never do it manually anymore. Everybody's
no, but was there a time?
Oh fuck yeah! What do you think?
Hours.
Fucking months, dude. It was not that particular amount, but it was just never ending.
So I used to take the newspaper, when I got the brickweed, and you kind of shuffle it, and all the seeds roll down, and the weed sticks on the paper.
Yeah, or the old
Sagamother
seeds, the Mexican
Tony.
style.
Yeah,
the card and shoebox.
Yep.
Yeah, Sagamother seeds would still use a frisbee for years, and I'd go over to see Tony, and it was the same one, all resin, resined out and everything, and just and my whole thing, it was funny because I was doing my little genius idea was like a Mad Magazine deal where I took a Windex bottle and I cut it and made a little flipped out the half of it, lifted it up, cut it this way, and then lifted it up and made like a little pill thing where I would count, and then I would take the little top that I was counting into, drop it into my seed pack, you know. So it's like just like repurposed Windex bottle.
okay.
So it's totally like people come in and be like, "Oh my god, it's genius!" And I'd be like, "Hey, it's
Shout out
just
to Ace's mom.
It's this-
God, you were rough to grow, weren't you? You were a rough kid.
rough to my mom."
You had some crazy shit you growing up.
No, but it was always like, it was never ending as far as seed sorting. I mean, always for me, wind was the way to do it. You know what I mean? You always had to blow, like sit there, whatever way it was, whether it was a box or a thing. And I was always trying to make it like, how can I automate this? And then then I bought the bird cleaner thing.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
It don't clean it very well though.
it gets you to a point, 80%.
It does.
80%,
Sure,
it helps.
and that's a good big chunk.
What if
And
you could get to like 98, 99?
Percent?
Yeah.
Well, there's part of me that likes the struggle's real when it's fun. It's like I like the struggle, but it's good. Like just when you do it by yourself, that's good enough method to get it to a point where I can then maintain. Like I can get it down to the point where I'm like, all right, this is doable. Whereas if it's fucking anything less than that, where it's like still all chafy and oh my god,
The struggle is real. Aren't I supposed to get an order from you?
How do you sort them
Yeah,
right
but
now? What do you do to separate
you're
your
here,
seeds?
so
What do you do right now? When it's drop time, what do you do to separate those seeds when you're done with shucking them off the plant?
Well, I mean, when it gets down to the final part, I'm still doing old school. I'm still out in my backyard. The funny part of my backyard, it was growing up. I'm not there, doing that.
What if I told you could take this? Like, how long would it take you to do something like that?
It's got that jar?
hours.
Yeah, I mean, doing
Probably
it the
6
way.
hours. No, more. 10.
This would probably. I could probably do it in a night. Back in my old
that
days.
clean with no kefir or no.
But to get it to like 99% good seeds only, you might get a little straggler here and there. But what if I told you could do this in a matter of seconds?
Sure. I mean, we have big machines for doing hemp seeds and stuff, but I'm just still on the back of my. I'm still
But those
literally.
big machines would be like you're talking about a couple $100,000.
You got to. Oh yeah, they're big.
Yeah,
money. Yeah,
big
yeah,
machines.
They're retarded.
Does anybody got a knife? I want to show you something.
All right,
I
do
got
it.
something to show you.
All right.
Oh, this is like
I don't have a
Ronco.
knife.
We got the perfect green screen and everything. We can make a. Get out the Ronco background, like the hey.
I love the Ronco.
Yeah.
By the way,
Ronco.
set it and forget it.
What
okay?
if I told you?
What if I told you
Who's
I
got a
could do
knife?
this?
Can we get a knife? Some dabber, something
Dabber?
like that, so I can cut this box open.
And an unboxing.
That ain't. Now we need an Australian. That ain't a knife.
That ain't a dabba.
This is a
That
knife.
ain't a dabba. Oh shit! Let me tell you, the
I've got
easy
12-inch blade I
He's
carry.
selling these at the show. Everyone's gonna have one now. It's not fun anymore.
But what is he selling? What are you talking about?
He's killing the
I just
struggle,
got
bro.
rosin over all the box.
That's fine.
I'm
He's going
hitting the box, by the way. Then.
well, there you go. Here's
What? Somebody got a knife now?
Now it's way
Yeah,
cooler.
but it's cooler with rosin in the box.
Way
It makes it official.
Wasn't cool until that happened. Now it's kind of cool.
All right.
All right, so easy clean.
The easy seed, man.
Easy seed.
It's the easy seed. It's the fastest.
I got a shitload at home to go do, so that's perfect.
It's the
I'm
easiest,
the guy I wanna give it to.
fastest,
There you
and
go.
most economical way to sort your seeds and clean them.
I talk to a lot of breeders, and I'm like, hey, I need some more gear. And they're like, I got to go clean them. I got to go do this.
Oh, yeah.
I got to go.
Now, is it
It's an exotic product.
exotic product?
Well, I can tell you how it originally started.
Oh, don't be modest now. It's an exotic product. So we got to flip it around.
So
Yeah, he can show us some of this. It's got 2 drawers. Tell us about the 2 drawers.
So essentially,
stop
what's
right
going to
there.
happen is you have a hopper up here, and you dump your slurry is what I call it of seeds into the hopper, and essentially what's going to happen through wind. I mean, it's not a secret.
Yeah.
Wind's going to blow the garbage on by,
Yeah.
and all your good seeds are going to fall on one side, and your bad seeds are going to go on the other.
Sure.
And
It's like an
gonna happen-
organized version of the other one that I have, but kind of like
That's right.
all in one.
That's
nice,
right.
Easy to use.
It does it real quick. It's right in front of you. It's not some big crazy contraption with tubes and fans and vacuums.
I like
and-
that though. I like the Dr. Seussness of it all.
Yeah, it's cool, but when you want to do it fast,
I like
man.
that people are intimidated by it. But it's not that intimidating. Like they're like, oh wow, that's really crazy.
Sure.
Like, it's a fucking vacuum cleaner hooked up to a box that blows shit around.
It's got 2 drawers. I mean,
And so one drawer is bad, one drawer is good.
I don't know.
That's right.
And then you go through, maybe dump through, double down on the.
If you want to, yeah. I
there's
mean,
some-
you don't always have to, but sometimes if you got some really
Occasionally.
dirty stuff or
Yeah.
some big like nugs or chunks in it, maybe put it through again or
How-
2 or 3
how,
times.
is this like a power plug here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just plugs into a computer style power plug.
Oh, nice. Well, 110.
Plug
I'm
should
sure.
be
110. I'm guessing. Nice.
Is it switchable or is it the same? It's just all 110.
It's 110.
Who wants 240?
Well, do we have a
Well,
plug
you
that we
never
can plug it
know.
into over here? No,
I'm sure we
I
have a
think we
plug.
can find one probably.
Yeah, let's plug this thing. Yeah.
Do you have to? You may have to move it closer to there. Is there a plug anywhere? Huh?
No, we're looking for a plug in a
Plug.
cord.
Plug.
Power cord. Yeah. Looking for a plug, homie. I need that plug.
He thought the metaphorical plug.
Right.
It's like I got that plug.
I got
for
that
you.
plug.
I got you. Doc.
We'll see how much we got over
it's
here.
it's a good sized cord.
I was gonna say, look at that cord too, though.
It's,
Yeah.
it's no
It's
small
gonna vibrate the
cord,
whole
yeah.
table and making us like all scared.
No, ouch.
Nah, it's really
Nah, there's no electricity around here, bro. We don't have any. This is
there's-
all being run off
There's
solar.
one over there, but I can't see if
It's all taken by lights.
there's an outlet or not.
It's okay. I think MTI might find one. Might
See
find
what,
one.
let's see what they come up with.
We'll see. We'll give
We
it a
can
sec.
make noises and act like it. And that's done.
When you guys want to extend that in there, plug that
Yeah, I
in.
don't know. Is it complicated?
No, it's I can sit right here and do what I need to do. If you can just plug it in and we can find an outlet.
Look how easy that is. That is awfully easy.
It's like the shapes when you were a kid. You had the shape box, and the shape only goes in one way.
There you go.
I had a lot of problems with that game.
Obviously, that was not his forte right there. All right, so we are plugged in.
Wow, that was quick. All right, so
Well, we're plugged in there. We're
no, we're
still,
not plugged in.
We're still powerless.
we're gonna get not powerless. We're looking for.
We're half plugged.
How far we go?
Oh, that'll work. That will work.
We are in Action Jackson now. Okay, so hang on to your seats, kids. We're about to do
So this
a
would
month's
wait a
work
minute. Would
for
this
my
be
mom.
an exclusive,
In 30
exotic, exclusive?
Oh, it's going to be a done deal, isn't it? There's going to be some done deals.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I
done
don't know if
deals.
it's a done deal. Well, it could get the done deal stamp of approval.
Well, barely. I mean, if it leaves the building, it probably won't. But
Done
if
deal.
it stays in,
Well, we can make a deal on it for a reasonable price. We get you this.
The done deal. All right, what do we
That's-
got?
would it be-
yeah, whatever you want. $100
You,
bucks, $50
you would
bucks,
think
20
2,000
bucks,
for that
$5
thing, probably. No, we wouldn't sell it for 2,000.
no, not 2,000. No, we're going to
You
sell
know, I'm
it.
just. I'm
Earlier
gonna
we were
let
talking about a $10,000 machine, right? Or a $100,000. A hemp
yeah,
seed
what's as
machine.
big as this room right here?
Right, but who needs that? So, but for a breeder who wants to buy that, he can't buy that.
Perfect.
This is
That's all I need.
Here, James. Why don't you go ahead and since I'm going to show you how easy it is.
I've never done it seed,
All
so
right,
I'm not a seed
you've
breeder.
never even seen this thing, so go ahead and there's just a power switch.
One button.
One button, power switch. Lift off.
Oh shit!
And then here, I'll give
this
you-
comes out like dust.
I'll give you the
Yeah.
slurry.
It's like
There's gonna be
no.
there's gonna be a slight amount of dust because I don't think the filter's in there, but it's okay.
Oh,
James can be the guy.
I knew the dust part.
So it's kind of hard, but I'm guessing in the top?
There's a filter, yeah. So this is the top. This is the hopper. This is where you
So there's
easily pour the seeds out.
a filter that goes on the outside.
No, actually, it drops right in here.
In here?
But it's not in there.
It's not in there right now, no.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
But yeah, just go ahead and slur easily. There you go. Yeah, that's good. Just do the nice little pour. You can go a little faster than that. I mean, just don't dump them all in on one.
Yeah, see, look, it's like popcorn.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm getting
It's
taken
nice.
trapped over here.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, look at
No, when the filter's in, you don't get any of that.
I got you. Hey, with the filters in there. Look at that. Oh my god, it's like that's like a bird
That's
seed.
slurry, though. We don't want this. This is joint stuff. You know, that's not seeds. We don't want that in there.
No, but hey, when you at the end of the day, when you're actually using this thing, it doesn't matter what's going on out there, man. You're out in the middle of your garden.
Disaster.
No, this is for your crop. You put this crop, you top dress with this.
You guys, there's a filter for this.
There's a filter. There's a filter. Big filter.
So yeah, give it.
Ow! I got shot in the face.
Give it a couple taps. Make sure everything's down.
literally got
that's too
shot in
much.
the face.
Take it easy over there, He-Man.
Oh my god.
It's built
But then
out of
now-
steel, dude. It's thick.
Now, yeah, you go
Does it
ahead.
come with a broom?
Look at your drawers, man.
Does it
Look
come
at
with
your
a-
drawers. You got a bad side and a good side.
All right, let's do the drawers. That's a good side or bad
I
side?
think it's a bad side.
Oh, chafy bad side. Well, this
Show the
lead is
camera,
more
yeah.
here than in there, but
It's okay. It would have stayed in there with the fan.
Woulda, shoulda,
Or with
coulda.
the
Shoulda, coulda.
with the filter.
But today,
There's no. This isn't magic.
what
It's
kind
just
of just a regular old filter in there?
yeah.
Muchos betterness. Let me see.
From what I saw in the jar, it looked that clean. But obviously, when it's all over the table, it was not that clean. But that's amazingly clean.
It's actually pretty dirty when it's in the jar, but when you put it through the machine,
It's on the floor.
well, not when the
Perfect.
filter's in it.
Broncos, get everything on the floor, Tron. 1,000.
Hey man, I had to hurry over here, man. I was getting demanded. Get over here, Mike. Get over here.
I know.
So I ran
You're not an
and
easy guy
didn't
to
bring
get
the
on a
filter.
show.
It's blame it on James, basically.
That's
what
kind of exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. It's all good
So-
then. That's pretty much the thing. So, yeah, James, go get a broom, figure it out, clean it all up. That'll be your job. Look at him. Look at him.
I'm cleaning it up. See?
So, realistically, you're going to make the first 100,000. We got how many got ready?
I got 100. I made 100. So
Already? You already got it done?
I got 100, man. I promised 50 people last year I was going to get them something like this, and
Nice.
I ended up took about 9 months to get them manufactured in America, U.S. made.
Oh, man. U.S.
And,
So it's going to fall apart in like a week, then, basically. We're trying to say. So what you're trying to say is
No,
we have
man,
some...
it's good and American made, man. This thing
No.
is going to last you a lifetime.
And it doesn't draw much power,
It,
obviously.
it really
It's like-
doesn't.
It's literally.
It's so low that honestly I don't even know it off the top of my head. It's extremely small.
You can't even really hear it though either.
It's just a small,
No, it's definitely
fan.
more quiet than the Big Daddy that I, was
Nah,
and that's only just still like a tiny little vacuum, but it's still loud enough that it's like can't.
You can either, I mean, there's various uses for it. You can either use it out in the garden where all this shake doesn't matter,
right?
Or you can use it on your kitchen table when your filter's in it. So
similar seed banks. These are the freebies. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, this is what we're selling this weekend, dude. And rolling joints, bro. Bro.
But yeah, so essentially we made 100 of these, and
so where can I get one?
Well,
on my
you're
site.
No, you're going to be able to get them at sortmyseeds.com here in about a week and a half.
All right.
So sortmyseeds.com.
What about this weekend? Did you bring any with you?
I brought a few with me. I have order forms, so if folks want to order some this weekend, I'll definitely take orders and ship them out once we get back home.
Over at the Indo Expo there this weekend? Because there's going to be a lot of breeders in town for that thing.
Yep.
So that's why you guys are here.
I mean, realistically, I believe most of them are spoken for through like emails I have sitting there and people saying they're going to come get them. But
They ain't coming.
Yeah.
No way. Definitely one of them's not coming.
The plan is to just take it, keep evolving it, making it better and better, and who knows where it'll take us.
The next version will have a filter.
Yeah. This version has a filter.
I know. It's dramatic. It dramatically shows how much it separates.
Right, I mean,
I didn't think there was that much shit in there.
Well, I knew that was coming out. Just to be
me
clear,
too.
I knew that was coming.
Me too.
Especially with the filter not on it. But again, this doesn't bother some guys because they're out in the garden. And if it does bother you, that's why the filter you can put in and out. So it just depends. If you want the filter, toss it in. It takes a second.
Seriously though, I mean.
Yeah, and you can just create. You get all MacGyvered out and fucking create a little thing. Just
there's nothing.
No, you don't understand. Like it's just a piece of fabric that goes under the screen inside here.
Right. But no, I understand how it works.
It takes 2 seconds.
You could also take it to your advantage and not have to ever clean it, because you could just kick it out, a lot of it, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
too.
The only problem is, the idea of the filter is that way so it doesn't junk up the fan essentially.
Yeah. When
So
they,
that's-
now you're doing the old. This is like remember the lights from Quantum? No, Quantum. Remember they always. Good. They're actually really, really well made.
I still have some Quantum valves.
They don't break, right? They're like old Nissans or old Toyotas where you're just like, dude, I don't know, the thing's all rotted up around
The fans get junky.
I'm going to turn this off now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh shit, bro! Everything's almost blew the whole place up.
No,
popped
Did you
it
see
with
that? Pop fuse.
With the point, just turn lights off at the same
with
time.
the .025 amp fan.
You said it was no power, but somehow
Turning it
magically-
off, it's going to pop it. Come on.
Oh man,
We turned the lights on. Can you turn the lights on?
Yeah, it was crazy. But no, in general, it's nice. It's nice and simple, which is always good.
It's easy.
So I could see this in Denver at Indo Expo and pick one of these up this weekend.
You can, yeah.
I mean, I don't make
I have a
sense,
few on hand because I can't. I think I fit 4 in a big U-Haul box to take on the plane. But I got them back home. If you want one, you can come pre-order one, and I can definitely get it out to you when I get back.
And then what else you got going this weekend at Indo? I think we got a new drop, huh?
Yep, the Cookies and Cream F2 limited lineup, man. I didn't make a whole bunch of these.
Yeah, I know, unfortunately.
I made some F3s, and I crossed it to a bunch of fruity stuff to kind of bring the fruity lineup back because I like fruits.
And you brought the Grease Monkey back?
I did bring Grease Monkey back.
It's one of my favorite. That thing is hard hitting. That thing's awesome.
I did a little, just some Grease Monkey stuff too because we brought the Grease Monkey back to the Cookies and Cream. It's almost like a Cookies and Cream back cross, so to speak. And called it the Vanilla Gorilla.
I was gonna say, I already had 2 people hit me up for it. Man, I gotta get the Vanilla Gorilla.
It's frosty as all hell, and it exhibits cream traits to the max. But
what of yours is not frosty?
I mean,
come on.
You know what I noticed out there? A lot of the gelatos and the sherbs. They smell amazing. They taste fantastic. They look good, but dude, they're just not. They don't pack that cake. And no, they got the punch. I love smoking that stuff. But they don't have the bag appeal. They look good because they're colorful and stuff like that. But the frost content is lackluster.
So that's supposed to be the 2 hype strains this year: Sherbet and the gelato.
Well, I mean,
Everybody's
yeah,
supposed to use it.
and they're great, man. And there's nothing. I got
Due to
nothing
TMZ.
bad to say. But if I'm gonna critique it, man, they could just use some frost, some bag appeal.
Which the Starfighter always helps in cookies and cream.
Yeah, anything with cookies and cream in it, man, it really just adds frost and.
It's the whole stock thing you told me about. I think with what they brings to the mix. Now it raises the resin glands up.
Right. We didn't know that for a long time, but when you have
Like stock tech capitate.
when you got big stalks on one plant and big heads on the other, and neither of them are good solely for each plant, but when you put them together, it puts bigger stalks on plants that have larger heads and didn't really have those big stalks. So now it can break free without rupturing the head, and it can be used for, exceptional hashes and rosins without caking or degrading quickly. So
exceptional, probably 8-10 cups worth. So I mean, some of that rosin was pretty awesome.
We went through a nice little run there for a while, and then just kind of
decided to work on other projects.
Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, you can beat the dead horse, but it's not really that fun anymore.
And that's and so there's how many strains in this new drop? 10, 12?
I think there's about 15.
But not very many.
Right. That's why. I mean, I try not to do that many at once. But for example, when we were at Emerald, we dropped like 8. But now we have just a few. We have just a few of those left, and then we have the rest of them for that lineup. And so. Yeah, there's like 15 on the list, but some of them are going to be out probably this weekend. So
cool. And then the first 100 people at your booth this weekend get
a pack of Suckles.
Suckles.
Yeah, it's the sour Sprite cross with the cookies and cream F2.
Nice. Is that both days or 100 for the Saturday?
I'm splitting it up, 50 and 50, man. I said 100 right out the gate, but I got a lot of people kind of upset with me because they were like, Mike, I can't even be there on Saturday because you got to be a vendor or know someone or something like that. I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, so once they told me that, it was just a no-brainer. Yeah, of course, 50-50. Let's break it up. Make it fair.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Of course, Lonnie Soulfire is going to be there. Of course, he's got some new stuff, and he's got a T-shirt he's giving away too. Some pretty nice ones I got for him.
Yeah, we got some T-shirts. We have our Black Banana line. We'll be in booth 911.
911.
911.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, booth 911. They put me back there in the corner.
See, I thought Porsche first. I didn't think 911. I thought Porsche.
It's an emergency. Get back there. Yeah. Look for the big the Soulfire bird. But yeah, we got our Black Banana line. First 50 that come, we're going to give away the YU jelly, which is the Dunn Mega crossed with the gelato.
Dunn Mega's been killing it. We had a lot of people
I'm almost
hitting
out.
it.
A
lot of people have been hitting us back up, and in fact, one of my guys. He got it's a drink over there, but he was gifted the blackberry cream that we gifted out for those free packs. And since then he's come back and he wants 2 more packs. He's like, I want to get this, I got to get this, and so that little free packs, gets more people.
We've got a lot of good feedback. The community's been so great. I mean, the Soulfire vigor is real. When they get in their garden, it basically just takes over. Like just so many cool pictures coming back of all the different stuff. It's
we should start seeing a lot of pictures. You guys both did a really good sale over Christmas. So I think you had packs for 50 or something, and you had packs for 40 for a limited amount.
Yeah, it was a blowout, man.
So those were awesome. Just to get the market out there, get people who aren't familiar with your stuff growing it. And
before we tested it, before I tested mine, I grew out all mine, so I knew kind of what a lot of it, what it all looked like. I found a lot of keepers, but to watch other people grow it is just, it's way more special.
It's what I hear from Mike all the time. He's like, if I found something cool, it's great. But he's like, if somebody else came up with this great pheno of Grease Monkey and gives it to me, it's like, fuck.
It's an awesome feeling.
You found this thing, and it wasn't even just me growing it; it's somebody else. And if I see it more than once, and I'm like, yeah, that's got to be pretty rewarding. That's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's always same with those photos I send you, like when you give it to people who do it outdoors and do a bunch, and then you see it, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's what it looks like when you do a shitload of them, and then it starts to see a totally new pattern because now you're looking at it on a scale that's not, you're looking at like a couple hundred of them in together growing that are all, from seed. Slightly, might be some slight differences in there, but they're all fucking looking pretty damn uniform. I was like, oh, that's nice. Whereas,
where was that field?
Southern Hemisphere.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
It was nice and uniform.
But it was beautiful. Yeah. It was it was all the Master Kush and Sage, and it was just like, wow, those were like spot on. And all the locals, it's funny because all the locals are like, what the fuck's going on? This shit's flowering already. Everything else is just like, you can see the other plants in the background in other fields, and they're just like these little nothings, you know what I mean? And these guys are like, already crushing it. And they're like, oh shit.
Part of it is we all have different styles too, you know. Like I grow a certain way, some other guy grows different, and it comes out in their plants. You know, I'll see something different that they do that maybe I don't do.
We were totally just talking about that with the tissue culture guys. Like I obviously we host the panels. Dunn will be up there, and they had a good question about polyploids and what do you do with them. And Dunn will be like the guy who wants to covet that weird thing and see what it does, and be like, oh, what are you? You're different. Let me see what's going on with you. To where like OD Diesel, Homegrown Natural Wonders, stomp that curb stone. You get the fuck away from him. He doesn't want anything to do with it 'cause it's weird. You know, and so just different people have different styles, and what works for them is kind of like growing. You know, I always tell people there is no right way to grow. I think if you take a little bit from everybody that you learn from and everybody that you meet along the way, you'll figure it out, and then whatever, that's your right way to grow. Like their way, it's not going to work for you. We all have our different schedules. So if pick a little bit from each person you meet, and that's going to be your way, and that's the way that'll work. There she is. Yeah.
Whoa. Like, you see, like if it's like those are all regular seeds, not feminized and not, it's not like them.
What they do, pick out males, or they just let it rock?
I think they pulled out, or they might have he might have been on it a little bit and pre-done it, but these are not from clone; these are all from seeds. So but it's interesting, right? Because like you'll start looking at it like that, and you're like, yeah, uniform is key. And I was like, he's like, yeah, everyone's amazed. They don't know what the fuck. They're like, they're so uniform. So I was like, yeah, nice one. I'll send a picture to MTI.
I'll throw that up there. I'll throw it on the background, maybe.
Throw it on the background. Let's see.
So, what do you got coming up in the next couple of months here, Mike? Besides chickens and chicken coops?
You're looking at it, man.
Just keep busy, keep grinding.
Yeah, keep grinding, making some new stuff. Probably do something.
What's coming down the pipe? I know you're 6 months to a year ahead of yourself before you give me shit. So what do you got?
I'm probably gonna do some strawberry stuff because I like that one a lot.
I've seen it. It's what you keep telling me. I haven't seen it yet.
Some strawberries and cream stuff, and then I'm gonna bust my buns in the next 6 months. Try to get this easy seed off the ground, man. So
it's kind of a no-brainer for me. You heard my initial response to it. I think it's making it too easy for other people to get into the game and sell seeds
but they're gonna do it anyway. So
right, but let them spend 48 hours doing it.
Yeah, no. My thing is this, man. Is that
no offense there, all the new breeders, but
yeah, I think that if I had this thing, I've been doing stuff, sorting seeds like this for years now.
I mean, I've been hearing you tell me, you call me, and you're like, dude, I just spent all this time. I was like, God, really? Like half the time I didn't take you serious, but then when you hear it over and over from the different guys, you're like, wow, they really.
I don't know. I just see a demand for it, man, and if I can get it out there, and we got a patent pending deal going on right now, so
probably about $1,000.
No, not even.
How much?
It's gonna be $649.
$649.
$649. No, well, you got to pay for shipping.
Of course.
$649.
What comes with warranty?
Yeah, I'll give you 1 year. The hardware, the box is going to last you
box.
forever.
Exactly.
It's not.
It's a metal box and a fan.
If for some reason it doesn't work, or it stops working, or your components break on you in the first year, come give it back. We'll fix it for you or send you a new one. No problem. But if you go dropping it down the stairs, that's the only way you're going to break this metal box.
I think I see another cup coming. Product.
Best product. I've had one for a couple of years, and I throw that thing around, throw it in the truck, head over to the sort seeds, can do a whole garden in a few hours of a night, and just have them super clean.
Yeah, I mean,
in a couple of hours, it's crazy.
I've been using the same one for years, guys. I never.
So
it's kind of crazy, actually.
So for basically 7 packs of beans, you're getting something that can save you technically hours and hours and hours.
And look, if you're out there if you're a producer or processor in any rec or medical market out there, I mean, you're down the road, you're probably going to need something like this to sort your seeds. And there's different options out there, but right now, in my opinion, and many others out there, it's the easiest and most efficient way to do so. So
cool. I got the field behind you there.
Oh, there you go. Boom. Now we're rocking in the field. No questions about the field. Just know it's below the southern hemisphere in some format. It's right now.
Don't meta tag the photo.
The photo, yeah. They're all on it. They're like, no, I know.
That's happened. Yeah, I'm not saying it. Yeah, I know. That's leave it alone.
It's happened.
Leave it alone recently.
The reason this whole thing originated because, like I said, I told some people I would get them a machine.
Why?
Because
nice guy.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
I'm open my mouth when I probably shouldn't, but I told him I could do something, and it didn't go the way I wanted to. So I said, you know what? I'm going to, make this machine in the United States with better components, better parts, make it available to use in the United States, man. Because
make America green again.
Sure. Sure. But I told those people I was going to get them something, so I figured, you know what? I'm going to get these made. I'm going to get 100 of them made, and we'll see what happens. But the demand has just seemed way more than just these 50 people. I mean, I got 100 made, and they're all pretty much spoken for. So, I mean, hey, until guys don't need machines to sort their seeds, I guess I'll keep getting them made.
Right. And even for the home breeder that wants to do his own stuff, you know what I mean?
No,
Instead
this is perfect.
Instead of even him having to go through and sort it, that's still good. This is bananas. So, I mean, for the home breeder that wants to make his own strain or cross this with that, that'd be perfect for him. So.
Oh man, this is good for anywhere from the home breeder all the way to, a big,
obviously,
big producer,
cup winning championship.
Well, no,
producer.
not even just that. I mean, just like people with a few thousand lights or whatnot, or that if you're gonna have, I'm not saying you're gonna put a few thousand lights through there, but what I'm saying is if you're doing breeding and R&D and looking for new shit, you're gonna constantly be making new strains, and whether you devote 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 lights to doing so. This could definitely handle that. I mean, you could put those through this in a matter of a couple hours. I mean, you see what we just did with a jar of it in seconds. So think about how much could you really separate.
Damage it caused.
And that was a pretty light. That was a pretty light slurry. Like when I throw stuff through this, there's a bunch of material. I break it up pretty fine with my hands, but I mean,
Well, and also too this slurry this is a I like to call it a synthetic slurry because I didn't have any beans ready to sort. So I just broke up like an ounce of weed and put it in a jar of some seeds. I mean, it's simulating the same thing. But
why?
The leaves are different on a slurry that comes from the plant that you've broken up. It's a little different, and they actually sort better. I found that this stuff you'll find chunks and heavier pieces because it was actually buds and shit. That if you catch something falling through, it's because
don't be cutting up ounces.
So you need modules where you take that fan out, plug that in, have a little thing that catches all the good fucking, and now have a fan back over here somewhere, suck it out, put in your little bag, just pull out your 120, have your 73 and your 90 and 120 there.
Just let it go.
Pull out your
over
little
your head.
filters
Just
each
let it
time. I'll clean the 73 filter. You guys can have the rest. How's that? There we go.
Well, not 10% off that one.
Yeah.
I don't keep the.
I know this looks like you can just throw stuff through a t-shirt screen right here, but like I said, once you put that filter on it, it all goes into the bad side. So
bad side.
No, that was just an example of how much it took out of there. Like, obviously it has a filter, and it's not going to do that to your shit, to your house, but. I didn't even think there was that much stuff in the jar.
If you don't put the filter on, it will. But that's why you get the option because some guys really don't give a shit.
There's an option without the filter.
Squatch wouldn't care.
Well, it comes like when you pull it out of the box. It has.
Does it?
Open it up, Michelle.
Here, yeah.
Okay, so like a lot of things, does the filter like when you put a filter on a fucking system, it's like all of a sudden you need oh shit, I need bigger filter. I need everything bigger.
So this is just essentially the mesh screen that goes in there above the fan, and what'll happen is you just put a filter right underneath this. It sticks right on there, and then that stuff never comes out. So,
Chat Gang is wondering what booth you guys are going to be in.
Of course, you're asking for seats right now. I'll be in booth 515.
Okay.
Exotic. Well, that's what we want.
116.
And 911 for Sulfide.
He's easy.
Yeah, it's easy to remember.
116 for you, Exotic?
Forget
116.
Already forgot.
Yeah. Stop by, definitely. Mike's giving away 100 free packs. We'll also have that drop starting Monday. It goes on sale Monday at 4:20. The first 100 packs get a free pack of suckles via Grassie's Mike, and so we'll have all those going out, and then we'll have all the other strains up and running. Get your pre-sales going, and then those will ship out on the next Monday.
Oh, tomorrow's going to be mayhem. It's going to be everybody trying to get in early. All these free packs of everywhere. Which way do they go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? It's gonna be like, plus it's how it is there with the fucking fire department, all that bullshit they do every year. So it's gonna be like the same deal where
we ran into them today.
Trickle in, so you really want to be at the front of the line. So it's gonna be a bunch.
It's gonna be fun though, man. I like coming out to Denver. I only get to come here once a year, so especially now since it's the Indo Expo that I come to. But I love coming out to Denver, so it's fun for me to come out.
Like 2 days ago, it was fucking horrendous as far as it was windy and snow.
I seen on my little weather,
and I was like, oh man, if it was like this on that day, it'd be like nuts. So I think it's gonna be okay. I think you're safe.
I actually popped into a little rec shop where I think it was both, but grabbed some melts over there, and I was pleasantly surprised on what I grabbed. Man, it was some really fire stuff.
Nice. So, any names?
710 Labs, and then Laser Cat.
Yeah, those two have been killing on rosin right now.
Yeah, I got rosin and hash, or some like 90, and they're both fire.
So if you guys stop by the booth, give them, say Exotic.
Yeah, hey.
Bring them some more things.
Yeah, if you guys are out there and you got some more heat, I got some Grease Monkey from Laser.
I got some seeds we can trade.
No, it was 710 Labs had Grease Monkey, and they were doing a bunch of Grease Monkey stuff.
Grease Monkey just fucking kills it. So I've had you. So I was like, bring it back. People are just so happy with it.
Yeah.
So especially outdoors, it's done really well, and I don't know.
It's a yielder, froster, tasty. I mean, it's
no issues.
Yeah, it's got it all, man. So
it's a yielding froster. That's all you need.
Call her a prostitute.
Can grow fields of larf and extract for days.
DJ Short.
Dude, you're on it, bro. You're on the fucking program now. Perfect.
I know, right? That's the first time.
He finally understands.
Finally got him on.
Fields of larf and harvest for extract. Surface area.
There you go, bro. That's it. That's all we're doing from now on.
Name of the game.
Yep.
That and CBG.
That's it. Larf for days, bro. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up. You want to shout out to your just whatever Instagrams and all your.
Yeah, how can they get a hold of you? Of course, they can get your gear, seedsurnow.com, and other fine banks across the states. But seedsurnow.com.
Yep, you can get my seeds at seedsurnow.com. There are other banks as well, but Seedsurnow is the go-to.
And we got Lonnie, we got Soulfires as well. All his stuff up there. I of course won't have the giveaway. You need to go to see him this weekend, get the giveaway, and kind of like I said earlier, always try when these guys come to your state. And he's
basically shut everybody down for these. Like he's looking at me, he keeps looking over at me when he says there's no more available. So he's already giving me the cold shoulder. He's already like, you're not even
hey,
close.
I ain't cold shoulder anybody.
You're not even close, bro. You're like far out of the way.
I told you we can make a deal. You can have one for $700.
I know. Oh man,
I'll get you one. Then don't worry.
I'll get a pan.
I'll get you one.
No, I'm just joking. But anyway, in general,
no, you're not. You want one? I understand.
Of course,
it's okay,
I want
right?
one.
It's okay. I get it.
I don't want.
So you're talking about like one of the oldest brands of cannabis, 25 years.
Do I not
You've
need
seen
that?
this machine, and you're like,
I'll send you photos.
He said, "No, you know what? I'll just use the blow dryer. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. But I got this sweet vacuum.
I was just gonna order like 400 blow dryers just so I can put my name on them and be like, bro, this is it, bro. Frisbees and blow dryers for everybody.
So it's definitely a done deal endorsed then.
I'm endorsing it 100%.
Yeah, done deal endorsed.
Even though it has to clean. You're cleaning up though. That's the thing. So
it's never without the filter on the Dunn show.
No, we're always filterless here. There's no filter.
Oh yeah, no filter on the show. This is proof. This is proof. There's no filter on the show. 100%.
Shit happens.
No filter.
And we don't go back and clean the shit up either.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I like that.
You go.
I like that.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
He slipped that one in on you, man.
You're gonna be cleaning it up. I know, definitely. All right, Mike. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through. Also, man, it's nice seeing you guys again. And it's gonna be, it's gonna be a busy weekend. So hopefully, this becomes the new little mini, like you're saying, mini emerald. Like as far as it is good timing too, because especially for the hemp guys. The hemp guys are really like chomping at the bit right now. They're like, what are we gonna do? Some people fucking, you can. The whole thing with hemp is it's going down in price, and it's also like a giant risk every time.
I have hundreds of pounds of kilos of hemp, just so you know.
Hemp or
seeds, or just the biomass?
Hemp seeds and feminized.
Oh, really?
Yes, we're working on the unicorn,
hundreds
which is
of
feminized
kilos,
autos.
hundreds of kilos of
feminized seeds, and the numbers are coming back at 19%.
Yeah,
with certificates of authority.
And you want $1.10 each.
Oh no, $3 for these unicorns.
$3 each
per seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, by the kilo.
Yeah, I don't know what the going rate is.
58,000.
No, people get $1 a seed, which is pretty nuts. Like,
wow.
So for a kilo, it's 58 grand.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And there's no breaks.
But how much are you gonna make off that seed though? My little dollar seed's gonna turn you into what, thousands?
I don't know. I mean, does it though? What's the price of tea in China for a hemp out there? I'm unfamiliar.
That's a Dunn show.
Well, you're looking at like 40 pounds to make 1 kilo of isolate, so it's a pretty easy estimate as far as like.
Okay, and then isolate goes for what?
90,000 a kilo.
Right now it's $6 grand.
$6 for isolate. So let's say it drops to 5 in the next couple months.
Yeah. 4 even, let's say.
Oh, it's going to be there, of course. But I mean, like even if you planted a crop now and expected to sling all your isolate, you could probably let's call it 5, and then so you've got to grow 40 pounds for every $5 grand you want to make. You better have some acres, man.
Yeah, so you can stop by our booth this weekend.
I mean, it is. I mean, when the numbers become interesting, you're like, oh, that's fucking $19 million. It's like, But you still got to like cut it in half because of this and that and that. By the time you're down to
sounds like you got divided by 40. So multiply it by 5,000.
Well, of course.
And don't forget the $3 a
guys
seed.
Getting into the hemp seed business, fucking Monsanto.
Oh, I heard some shit about those guys too.
You know,
Well, in the hemp seed business.
Aren't they a little busy paying for that lawsuit that they just lost?
You know, and
No.
it's one of those things where I think, you know, you got to speak with your paycheck on that shit. Like, you got to speak with your buying power. If Monsanto is doing that shit, by all means, don't support it. Don't buy their shit. Don't buy those seeds. You know, just like if you don't like somebody.
It's just funny because right now I feel like they're kind of in this zone where they kind of like don't give a fuck anymore.
Oh yeah, I sold out Monsanto last week.
Well, I thought that, I mean,
like they just
I tried to stay current, and I thought I'd seen something about them patenting some shit that we never thought was going to happen about patenting a plant. And they happened to do it. They just did something like that.
There's been a patent that's for the reverse of basically it's the most abstract patent on it's this.
You have to do something to it. Right?
It's their strain of
yes, because you have to prove.
You mean you have to
it.
modify it, like genetically modify it to be able to patent it?
You have to. Yeah,
that makes sense.
And Top Dog has now had a strain trademarked, not by him, by Barney's Farm.
Trademark is one.
Yeah, I remember.
Trademark
that one.
anything,
but he trademarked it's Mexican sativa crossed with an Afghani indica. Oh, skunk.
Yeah, but the rules.
So he knocks off five varieties right there.
The patent rule is that you have to make something better
than it was.
That's not
and
obvious.
You have to prove where it came
It
from.
can't be an obvious upgrade. It has to be something that's like, oh shit, well that's a huge upgrade.
And you have to prove where you started from.
Otherwise, once something's already out there, it's just public domain. You know,
right? Everything that you've released so far, would be considered. But anything in the future you want to work on. Jerry LeBlanc, I'll show you guys this, but
we have a year in the United States.
Yeah,
sorry, but you have a year to do it.
But you might have seen his breeder bill of rights. Kind of if you sell, there's 22 different categories that can be that a cut can be sold with for either without amenity or kickback to the breeder or no commission or through seeds or clones or flower. I'll give you guys a copy of it. But Jerry, it was actually proposed
Sounds
by
like paperwork, bro.
It's a one page. DJ Short proposed it in 2015.
Live for everybody.
Which is live for everybody. But Jerry,
it's instantly what just popped in my mind.
But Jerry LeBlanc, who runs LeBlanc CNE, really good dude, has gone through and rewritten it. And it's actually pretty interesting. You sell versions of your cuts, but they come with either a license agreement. You can use it for cloning in-house and in-house only. It can't be used for flower. It can't be resold, or it can be made for seeds with or without. With credit, without credit. There's 22 different sections it can be sold with.
It's just a lot.
Varieties. But it's a way to say that protect your shit. I'm selling it, but I'm selling it to you with that you can use it in these abilities, in these fashions.
And I'm trying it with one strain. We'll see how it goes. I'll come back to you in about 6 months and let you know how that happened, what happened, how it went. If I think it's a terrible mistake, but like I kind of think it is. So, but we'll see.
We shall see. Well, what's not a bad idea is getting in touch with you about this quick because obviously there's only a few left. And when you can make a new round, you obviously have to make another round, right? So
yeah, the new round actually it's going into manufacturing as soon as we get back.
Fuck that. Yep. Good.
It's already underway. We're actually going to have some
When he says U.S. made, he hires his family to make these. He slaves them away.
Right? Yeah.
They bang the steel.
That metal.
Yeah. That big Irish family.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
No, but yeah, the next ones are coming, and hopefully we're just trying to make it, every couple changes here and there, not without going too crazy. If we think something needs to be changed or improved, we're going to make slight adjustments.
But a lot. Keep it simple, stupid.
No,
it's pretty simple.
We definitely are. But there's some innovations that I can't really tell you about right now without giving out the IP. When you see it, you're going to say, "Oh my god, of course!" Right. And then we'll still offer this one.
You're going to basically say, "Why did I get that one?" That's what you're trying to say.
Well, we'll still offer this, but there's going to be different machines for different applications.
Yes.
He's got you got the Mac.
So give me 6 to 12 months, and I'll probably have 3 different machines out there that do 3 different things for you.
All right. Thankfully, I don't need any of them because I will never make seeds. That's my thing.
Yeah, but you may have to clean seeds someday.
That's true.
I don't make
seeds.
Like,
it sounds like if you want Dunn seeds, you're going to have to clean them for us.
No.
So.
Hell yeah.
No.
Here you go. Here's a big bag.
No,
Get in there. Pull them out.
I'll pay you later.
All right. So if you guys are around for Indo Expo, get down there early because it's also, I think that's even sold out now. It's getting close to it, if not.
Let's run through booth numbers real quick again.
Yep, seats are now 515. We have every other breeder that won't be there. Exotic's going to be at 116. 116. And 911, you go see Soulfire.
I already forgot mine.
Also, I know that the guys, my guy Swamp Boys will be there.
Something.
40 something. Done deal.
4020.
Are you in the hemp?
Yeah, it's like almost like 420, but not.
Are you in the hemp section?
I couldn't remember it. I was like, no, it's not. It's 402.
Are you in the hemp section?
Yeah, I'm in the hemp section.
All right, because we'll have your gear at 515.
Oh, there you go.
So,
yeah. For seeds,
and then
seeds here now, of course.
Well, of course.
I'll be in the hemp section.
Duke Diamond and Skunk VA will be sitting in my booth selling out of the side of it, so those guys will be there. Stop by.
Nice.
They'll have their Esco jars with them that you guys have, so they'll have some.
I didn't bring them.
His new varieties of skunk. You can sit there and smell and skunk and tell him it doesn't smell like a skunk and watch his reaction.
Does it smell like a skunk? I don't know. I've never smelled it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
It does smell like a skunk.
Yeah, he went around to other people in the cup and was like, "See this is skunk. This is the real thing. Like, get this shit out of here." To the 1969 skunk IBL guy.
I'll have to go smell this shit.
Who did this?
Duke Diamond.
Really?
Check it out.
Well, you know the Uncle Fester 1969 IBL, the super skunk thing. It's a whole bunch of bullshit.
Right.
Like Uncle Fester was this meth cooker. That was why is he involving with cuts, and then it's one of those master tie things. But it's God, it's very odd.
Yeah.
Meth cooking. Come on.
By the way, so we have a new strain, the 19. It's a
Who's we? Who is this?
Who has it? I can't explain all my partners. It's a pre 1938 strain.
Oh God.
Okay.
Drought
tolerant resistant. We call it Dust Bowl strain.
Oh,
okay. This shit was so strong. This is why they outlawed weed.
Is it?
In 37.
Yeah.
Hemp?
No, this is 1932 Dust Bowl. Finishes in 42 days. Doesn't need water.
Did you just say it doesn't need water?
It's from the Dust Bowl. It's a land race. Okay, you guys are killing me.
You water once. That's funny.
No, yeah.
It's like the cocoa plug that just keeps growing.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, and it finishes in 32 days.
Obama chip hat.
Oh, which is great, by the way. That's another story for that.
No.
But thanks you guys for coming out. And it was hard. I appreciate you driving over here and doing it. Stop by their booths. I've always said if you can buy them from the breeders, buy them from the breeders at the shows. Come talk to them. They know more knowledge than I can ever pass along. Swamp Boys will also be there. They've got a booth. Dunn's got a booth. Who else, my guys? Top Dog will be there. Look for the flags in the air. So everybody's
flags in the air.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
Exactly. Cool.
Thanks, guys. Shout out to MTI for setting it up proper this time. It's getting better.
Yeah, for sure.
Nobody in here is wearing green like he was because that was great. We had him with the fucking green shirt on.
Does
that mean he's just his head?
Yeah, his head was just like on this concrete brick.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, the whole time.
It was a good time.
That's great, man.
And there's no demons in the machine tonight, man. Everything was pretty smooth so
No
far.
demons.
I've always said, your show was great.
Shout out to Seeds Here Now for the cameras.
Oh yeah, for Skunk-O-Vision, whoever Seeds Here Now.
Skunk-O-Vision.
I've always said, because I used to listen to you when I was in my grow room, and
When I was making diapers.
a long time ago, and then I would hear your torch, or first I would hear Mitch get in the thing, and I'd be like, it would scare the shit out of me because the audio was so off because you're way back here.
Oh, I know. They were terrible.
And then Mitch would be up here, and I'd be like,
Mitch was like that.
And then I would hear this thing in the background. And I was like, and it just kind of took back from the quality of your content. The content was always so good.
Oh, he loves this.
It's like not having a filter on your Easy Seed.
All right, the machine is so good, but the content, but the getting the delivery method and hearing it was like sketchy.
Well,
and I was like,
I don't recommend people listen to those shows. Then.
Well, no, they're still great, but now,
don't hurt yourself. It's dangerous.
You've elevated, and as listeners, we thank you.
Oh, we thank you. We thank you for helping us with Skunk-O-Vision. And
things.
No, it's good because we just had the same mics now for a long time. So now I think I'm on it a little bit better.
I got you the new mics.
So mostly
These are
good.
2 new mics I gave you.
Yeah, they're around. They're just float around. Floaters. They're floaters.
Floaters.
Cool. Those are SM58.
Everybody come out tomorrow to Indo Expo.
Indo.
I would like to give a shout out to my office staff who kick ass all the time, who work hard, who have to deal with emails. I was telling a story earlier how we got a couple emails. People asked if their peanut butter allergy would affect the peanut butter breath strain.
Oh no!
It's a negative. This is a real email. This is another email we got. Do I have to water my autoflowers?
What the fuck?
Okay. These are true comments. I got another guy who tried to. I haven't been able to get all you guys for 5 times, replying to the do not reply at Seeds Here Now.
Oh, that's so funny.
We post those in the break room whenever we get frustrated. We just go there and look at them, recognize our customers might be stoned now and then. So
yeah, no, you gotta take that into account for sure.
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah, so you see you guys down there. Shout out to my beautiful wife Cece and little Nick, Nick had his first sales today for his egg company, his little egg man.
What kind of eggs?
Well, yeah.
He's got my mom's got
chicken?
Her chickens, and they're putting out a lot of eggs.
You know what kind of chickens there?
Are they clones? Or
black ones and
all
black. couple blackies.
So
You just roped this guy.
Yeah. So Mike's new thing. When he gets into things, he gets.
We were trying.
So he's built like the W of like chicken hutches and 8 times of it. Like I think it's 8. He says he's got 10, but it's like the W of chicken hutches.
Really?
And he's diving, in my opinion, balls deep in a breeding of chickens. He's importing the eggs and actually hatching them, so he gets his own, they're unique to him, and he wants to get black chickens that lay green eggs.
Yeah, it's just doing it with chickens.
No green eggs now from us.
No, there are.
No, we don't have ours. I've seen it.
That's why he has to make it.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm actually after. I'm not going to.
He's going to make.
I'm after.
Oh yeah, we can talk because there's a lot.
I'm after a certain.
That's just cool.
A certain green egg.
Well, what's funny about my kids' thing is that she has a bunch of extra eggs, and then she was like, "Hey, why don't you have Nick sell some eggs?" Right? So I was like, "Yeah, cool." So then we figured out a name. I was like, "What do you want to call it?" He's like, "I want to call it Eggman." So that's cool. I was like, "Good, you got 2 songs." I go, "Here, you got 2 theme songs." He knows Beastie Boys. He likes Beastie Boys, so he knew that. I was like, "All right, that's good." And then I was like, "Oh, but you also got the Beatles." So I was like, "Now what we're gonna do is put the lyrics because the Beatles is cool." Beastie Boys is only one.
It's very small
crack
genre.
Doing a mashup or what?
Sort of reference, and that's the rest of it. It's all pretty kosher. I was like, his whole song is actually really good, except for not like the crack that you put in the pipe. So I was like, all right, that cut, we're gonna have to figure out how we can make that. But it's not the crack that you put. Maybe make them emphasize that part. Like not. Like, it's just not
the crack you want.
It'd be rough to get him confused.
Not the crack you want.
He
in your
thought
egg.
it was the crack-headed egg, man. And it's probably not a good thing, man.
But in general, it was good. So anyway, he had his first sale today.
Good, man.
2 dozen. $5 a dozen.
Cool, man.
$10 in his pocket.
Tax. Wait a minute, he's got to be taxed.
Who is this?
I know,
Little brother,
Don't tell him yet. I told him
he's got to be taxed by the house.
I know.
His son.
What's your son?
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
He's like 6.
Yeah.
Fun.
That's cool, man.
And so he has his own flyers and his own shit. So yeah, it's pretty funny.
Nice.
Good for him.
And
imagine this dude is your dad.
Well, it was good.
He's the coolest kid.
Well, it was good because it was like you could see today he was all proud finally because now he made his real sales and he has a little book and stuff.
Are they just laying like crazy? Is he going to be able to sell eggs pretty constantly? Or?
Yeah, I told him
it's wintertime, man, so they're a little bit sparse right
I said
now.
every 2 weeks probably is good. Right
if you need a plug on some black chickens that lay green eggs, because he get a higher dollar value.
But I'll
like,
keep
at the
looking. I
market,
can get. Anyway, so it's funny because I was looking into the rules here. You can have up to 3,000 chickens without a fucking nothing.
In Denver downtown?
In Colorado, not downtown. But and we have. And I told my mom that I was like,
but you can have 6 plants.
We can have up to 3,000. She's like, we have like 11 right now. She had 16, but then the bears came and fucking took out a couple of them.
That'd have been good. That'd have been nice.
And the funny part is the funny part about her whole little deal is one of the oldest ones is the gimpy one, Remember the gimpy one with bad fucking... There's one that has, he started off bad, so he's been doing this the whole time. He's he's Kaiser Soze right now. He's like, that's what I call him. I've been calling him Kaiser Soze forever because he's never going to... He's going to be the oldest one soon enough, or she, I should say.
Oh, it's Ann.
Huh?
It's
I should say.
I
say he.
Look at the correction of terminology.
I thought you were having a gimp running around there and just plugging everything.
No.
Don't hatch those ones.
No. I say he. No, all she's. No, we killed our rooster. I had him taken out. We're like, no.
They'll lay more, though, if you have a rooster.
See? Yeah, I know.
Keep in the mail. See, everyone wants to keep the mail.
But you don't really necessarily need them in the fucking thing, though, do you?
No, well, you do, because they have to plug them.
And next week on Chicken Talk.
If you plug them, then they'll lay more. But you can also make more chickens. So if you want more chickens. You don't have to. A lot of eggs in the store are actually fertilized.
So on the panel tomorrow, you guys can debate this. Like, we can go into it.
I'm not on the panel.
What are you talking about? Chickens?
Laying eggs and chickens and genetics.
No, that's cool. Let them go.
No, you're not slowing down. I think it's awesome.
No, I love chickens, man. They're fun. It's my new little thing.
And it's pretty and you're not like just buying clones, if you will. You told me you were importing the eggs and popping the eggs.
I pull up and they all run out of their house. And they already know. It's like, oh, hey, there he is, man. I go stand down by him. I pet him. They all jump on me. I got like 4 or 5 chickens on me at once. It's real. I swear, I'm not making this up, man. It's crazy. I never thought I'd have 4 or 5 chickens just jumping on me.
Yeah.
Fucking making little chicken noises and shit.
So Mike's a tough guy. He's raising chickens.
friend of mine had those ones with huge fucking black and the black head.
Those Brahmas probably.
You can't even see their face.
Those all their names, dude. You did. You just went balls deep in this.
I did, man. I did.
Cool. It's a hobby.
And I bought I made the houses, the coops, because I bought one. The one I got last year, dude, it fell apart on me, man.
Yeah, you made like the W of coops.
Yeah,
like
so
nicest hotels.
I made like 7 so far, and I need to make 1, maybe 2 more, and I'll be good.
Put in some indoor plumbing.
7 in one piece of property?
Yeah.
How many?
It's
how
5
many per-
acres, but I don't.
Oh, okay.
This little chicken area is on me.
How many can you have out there? Do you know? What's your max?
I want? Dude.
More than 3,000?
Probably not. Without getting the license.
Seattle proper.
I can't fit.
You can only have 8.
Yeah, I can't fit.
No roosters.
Can't fit 3,000. I can. I have a couple hundred already. I have the
Seattle.
spot for a couple hundred.
Wow. So you're going. Yeah, you're definitely going to. So have to import your eggs.
It's not my fault for.
If you need some
talk,
crazy
I
eggs,
apologize.
man, I got you on the plug-in.
Oh
for
man,
crazy
egg
eggs.
man. There you go.
What the hell happened here, man? It's like the Adam Dunn chicken show.
I know. Throw some eggs in the
Yeah, we can
background.
throw it back. Yeah, we'll
Put a big egg on there. Or what's that one thing where everybody's putting the egg as their face now? You know, you seen
What?
that? You gotta have seen that.
Oh,
No.
come on now.
It's some celebrity stuff out there where everybody. I think it was one of the Kardashian things, but there's an egg that people are putting on their face. It was if you put your egg, if your face in the egg, you said you looked better than like one of the Kardashians or something. It was a big thing, man. And like all the celebrities were putting their faces in eggs and shit like that.
Oh, that's
I don't know the details, but it's funny. I was watching eggs everywhere.
That is stupid. Anything with the Kardashians attached to it, I don't think I would listen to it.
You know who's making the most money off that? Ryan Seacrest. He signed their asses. He's to blame. He's the guy who came up with that idea.
I don't know nothing. I just catch some stuff here and there on the Instagram flip, and you see some crazy stuff on
Ass,
your feed.
booty, ass, and Kanye. Good all.
And on that note, see you guys next week.
See ya.
And have a good one. Peace.
Every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden symbols and messages.
A special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.